this going to show me down looking at my phone? I'm always checking to make sure we're live, people, so like, chill. There we are. Yep, there it is. It heard me. I heard myself sort of.
Hey! Ho. I'm TPAW.
I'm the Karnage.
And this is Crazy Pose. Eventually I'll have like opening theme and other stuff situated. Just this series.
Well, I've talked about it. We need to like sit down one like Friday and just
make some stuff.
Jackass and make like an intro song and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe I'll like hit up Andrew and have him help me with some of it.
We'll randomly pick like some random bullshit.
Alright.
Or because the laptop we're running on for the broadcast.
Yeah.
I figured it was the video I sent you. I'll know exactly which one it is. I'll pull it up or have you pull it up on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can go to the guy's channel, pull up the video. So that way you can go to the the AI like short or something.
Yeah.
It's like some of the videos I pick where it's just the background and then just the voice saying a message to try to uplift everybody. I wonder if we put like heavy metal or like alternative 90s alternative and it'd give us music.
Yeah, I think that
and then we could use that music, cut it out, like import it.
There's actually
it from the website
that Gustel showed me recently that a lot of streamers use that has like stuff like that that's free.
It's free, but if you post the video has a watermark on the corner.
Yeah.
It's only $20 a month. And if you're using the guy, he's one of these guys who tries to tell people, how to make money on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff by putting these videos out. And it's some of the ones, like I said, we've listened to here on the podcast.
Yeah.
And so I figured I'd show you that, so I sent it to you. I figured we could use that because yours is Windows and my phone's iOS, so it's like, fuck you, no!
Yeah.
Instantly, just giant middle finger. Fuck off!
Yeah.
So I'm like, ugh. That means I have to make an extra $30 this week to go buy this stupid little air conditioner or fan, put it next to my computer, because my computer overheats, because the wife literally bitched and complained about the noise my computer was making, because the fans are old as fuck. It started to die.
Yeah.
So I've had no way to keep it cool, so it's turned itself off a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure something out, because I know for a fact that with my software that I have and the programs I have, I can put something together.
You pay for the Adobe subscription.
I also have a program called Reaper that I actually
I've heard some good things about that. I've also heard some I can't figure this part out. You fucking damn thing said, really, bitch? I told you how to do it, sort of thing. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But that's also because they're not technologically there.
Yeah.
But with some of the stuff, like I've talked with you, and I have actually got a subscription to the real world now.
Yep.
Either 2 thumbs up or fuck you. Take it any way you want. In the ass, in the hooch, in the mouth. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is, some of the stuff that they talk about and the guy shows on a lot of the videos about how to edit videos or certain things. My thing is, and even like the intro videos are like, yeah, and we'll show you how to use AI to do it so that way you don't have to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And my first thought is, was seeing that video pop up with how to do certain things. I'm like, I wonder if, because he also shows in the video how to take out the photos they put in.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought is, put in my own photo. Like me when I, like the physique photos that I was wanting to start to do on Fridays or Saturdays again.
Yeah, because we were doing that a lot.
Yeah.
We were doing that a lot for like
a year straight.
Like a year straight. I actually called a photo album the Ass Wrecker.
Well, my ex, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, fucking photo is the last one I took before I like took that 6 months off or did a light and got the belly back.
Mm-hmm.
Got the belly more back than it was at that time.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to, actually I want to make that look like a skinny, weak me, because, I mean, you saw it at the gym on, what was it, Saturday? When we were doing arms and back, or arms and shoulder. How just decided to stand there and go like this, and my shoulders are like, yeah! And the whole arms are like, you're here! And I'm like, alright, yeah, no, this would be a good photo shoot. But I completely forgot about it, or we'd have taken photos.
Yeah, no, I spaced it too, because I was like, nagging thing in my mind was going, we were going to do something, and as we were walking by the mirrors, like in that bathroom area, like the front area with the sinks, I was like, we should probably be doing something over there, but I don't remember exactly, and then we started walking out, and I'm like, and we're gone. And then, like, that night, I was like, we were going to do pictures, weren't we? Fuck.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh.
There's actually a hat that we saw at Spencer's today. The hat literally said "fuck" with a dot at the end, like a one sentence, and it was a black hat with the word "fuck" on it. And I'm like, I need that hat. And then I was like, I want to get you that hat. And I'm like, I only had $20 more extra.
Yeah, they charge too much at Spencer's and Hot Topic nowadays. It's fucking outrageous, dude.
Yeah.
And Hot Topic's actually become a piece of shit, where Spencer's has actually just gotten better in the last 5 to 10 years.
We went to Hot Topic today at that mall in Layton, and
it sucked there.
And it was, and we went to Hot Topic, and she's like, oh, I'm getting so many high school memories, and I'm like, I'm getting memories of coming here because I got dragged here by somebody else, and either Nico, my dad, brother, chicks that I was into, like, it doesn't matter what it was, like, I always would end up there.
Was Nico wasn't the biggest component?
No, actually. Nico was actually quite young.
Nico and Andrew would be the biggest pushing you forward on that sort of stuff, because that, in my head it goes, yeah, that's their, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, when back during then, I was like 15, 16, so Nico would have been 8 years old. So Nico definitely would not have been
even
a
with
push.
the way they think then, the stories you've told me and I've heard from Andrew and themselves, it's just kind of the thing. I see y'all as what used to be Hot Topic kids.
Yeah, no, Andrew definitely would have been a Hot Topic kid. Like, half the time we would end up at Hot Topic, it's because it would be Dad complaining and whining about how Andrew wants to go to Hot Topic, and Andrew complaining and whining about how they
doesn't want to take him.
Yeah, and how Dad doesn't want to take him, and how he wants to get this one little thing, and then we find out that it's because he's trying to impress some flavor of the week lady, and trying to impress a girlfriend that he's trying to have. And
back in those days.
Yep. And then I would stare at the wall of shirts and then count down to see which one I could get, because at the time I was like, ooh, another way to get chicks, wear band shirts, that's pretty hot. And like, the funny thing is like, we went there today, and I'm looking around I'm like, 1, everything's still overpriced. 2, I'm getting weird high school weird memories from teenhood. And 3, can we leave now?
Well, I mean,
they have some good
once
stuff,
in a blue
but Spencer's
moon,
better.
when I just have a niche.
Yeah.
And I just want to go see how much it's...
Got these from Spencer's, so...
How much, cool. It's changed in the shit.
What's funny is...
it came out when I was in high school, dude.
Yeah.
In the 90s. When you and Ghost DL were still tiny little shit.
Yeah, I bet.
I remember the first time I ran into one at the mall.
Yeah.
I love that school.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny because these wrist bracelets we got, one of them is Tiger's Eye, so it's supposed to be calming and relaxing and shit. And then the other one is a couple's bracelet, but it's supposed to create unity and supposed to create like feelings of synergy and that sort of thing. We got 2, because I also got her a kitty choker on her neck because she wanted to wear a collar. And then I got her one other thing, opals for spirituality and shit. And the funny thing is you guys are hearing that and being like, my God, you must have spent like $80 on that. It's like, nope. I bought the 2 bracelets for, I bought 2 items for $12 each, so it was $24, and then with tax it was like $27. But I got 2 of the other items for free. So it's buy 2 get 2 free.
Oh, they got special going
Yeah.
on now?
Yeah, it was nice. I was like, score.
With the few extra bucks I got, maybe tomorrow I'll swing by, stop my Grubhub in a couple hours early like I did today, and just go for shits and giggles.
Yeah, so I had a tiger's eye that broke on me on that one podcast. Now I got a new tiger's eye.
Maybe I'll come grab you.
Yeah.
We'll do a goof off. Because I might do that. Because tomorrow being Friday, I was thinking I wanted to do something with you while the kids were at school. And I also just wanted to do football.
Yeah.
And I'd actually go make money, just have a relaxed day. Which I haven't done in fucking forever.
Tomorrow we gotta fit in an hour for Rainbow Friends with the kids, because tonight I promised them that they'd get some daddy time with Rainbow Friends.
Rainbow Friends is one of those weird shows.
I like it actually, because like,
well, no, I mean,
stories about a bunch of people who have really terrible life experiences that happen to them, and then they end up being brought together by this experiment by Red. The character's Red. It's a scientist guy, mad scientist. And
okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
And they're all brought together by his diabolical schemes, but they become like a second chosen family. It's pretty cute and adorable. It's like
that's kind of like the oh, what is it? Netflix did a series on it. I don't have Netflix on my phone anymore.
I haven't even opened
Umbrella
my Netflix.
Corporation?
Oh yeah, I remember the Umbrella show. Was it
Basically, this guy brought all these kids with superpowers together and turned them into a family.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it is called like
it's
called
Umbrella something. I think.
Yeah, it's like
But I mean, what you're talking about sounds like the exact same thing.
It's similar, yeah, very similar.
What they say?
Oh, I was asking Hallett, like, whether or not he's at hotel or whatever. He's like, at hotel for now, and I work tonight, and I'm like, I haven't seen you in days. He's like, LOL, yeah, rest assured I wouldn't just leave without saying anything about it. If I got a place, it would be like headline news. So he's staying over there.
Because I brought up that concern?
Yeah, because I asked him about it. I figured I'd ask him, because I haven't been able to ask him about that for a while now.
Yeah, just like I said, it's felt like 2 or 3 days since he's been here.
Yeah. That's what ran through my head too, because there's been a couple times where he's disappeared for like a week and a half, but he's been at a hotel. I just had to be sure. Let's see here.
I think it's Umbrella
TV show. Services temporarily unavailable.
That would be a Google search.
Let's see.
Netflix show Umbrella.
Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. I know it was like organization or some shit.
I watched like the first season of that.
It's a comic book too.
And
that's
like,
the only reason I jumped into it.
Yeah, it's gritty too for being a TV show.
The first season was from my point of view.
It was slow. Like the pacing was slow. I fell out of it fast.
Yeah, same.
Like I watched like half the season, and then I think life distracted me, and I found another show that I liked more.
I tried to watch the whole thing. It was like 3 episodes in. Okay, this is like boring as fuck.
I think where I got lost track is when the kid ended up in the past and he got stuck, and that means I must not have gotten past episodes 2 or 3, or maybe 5. Maybe I got slightly farther than you.
No, I know this story, and his whole thing is trying to figure out how to get back to warn them about something that's going to happen, which is the thing that sent him to the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know I got distracted easily.
The story's good in the comic books.
Yeah, I
tried
bet.
to turn it into like a Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
I
know that Ellen Page is now Elliot, and they introduced that into the show as like another character that the actor gets to play.
Yeah. I remember
So
that.
that's kind of cool for them.
I remember somebody talking about it, yeah.
But I think I only got 5 or 6 episodes into the first season, and then I fell out. It was solid though. It was fun for what it was, but it was also slow.
Decent, but
it's also slow.
The pace wasn't what I expected.
Slow burn.
From what I would consider as them trying to tell a story from a comic book. But that's also because it's not like the MCU or the DC where they're just like, here's the story, you're only getting this short snitch, we're going to shove as much as we can into it.
Yeah.
It was, no, we're going to go slow, steady, make sure you get every detail, like you're reading the comic in a TV series. And I'm like, this is going to suck ass.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
Nothing against it, but,
like,
fuck off.
holy shitballs.
Right? Alright, let's go to our first sound. We have 18 this week, and we're starting like an hour
Yeah,
late.
we had to visit my brother to talk to him about stuff.
Well, I wanted to visit him to throw something at him, and he said, not till after Christmas. So, that's also why I told his woman, oh yeah, no. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I'm going to come grab y'all to go to the gym.
That's what he was talking about.
And she was all hyped up. She's like, oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah, no, you could tell Rachel was excited.
Fuck yeah!
She was
She
like,
go to
I am
the gym.
down.
Andrew's like, oh, you're going to try to drag me there again? It's like, shut up, feeling good.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I threw that body language at him.
You notice how I talked about how Disturbed and other bands, other big high profile bands?
Oh, no, I noticed
go to
that
the gym and shit?
you literally threw that in his face, and I went, so going to the gym would be a benefit for you as a band member.
And you could see him, too. He was like, fucking god damn it. Like, he was just like, maybe.
And that's why I brought up.
Fuck you.
That's why going to the gym will make it so that way, even with you using your vocal cords, because your whole body's into it and you've worked out your muscles, it won't be such a strain on just your vocal cords because your whole body's projecting your voice.
Yeah.
And he went, and then moved on to the next subject because he's like, I thought about it like that.
Yeah, of course he did.
And then he went into talking about concerts and whatnot.
Yeah, and then he also went
and
into...
then you just jumped in on that because you just went to one a week or two ago?
Yeah, it was like the 30th of September.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yep, I'm still fucking wearing the shirt. I need to change the shirt out, but I haven't.
No, it's like buying anything, either because you went to the concert or it's that shirt that you just love wearing. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna wear this for you.
It is comfy. Like, it's nice. I like the shirt.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you have a favorite pair of pants. Fuck you. Do you ever change your pants? When they're dirty.
It's kind of like when someone gets spit on by somebody that's famous or some shit, though that's a weird comparison, and they're like, I'm never washing this hand again.
Alright, let's go into the first crazy scene. What the fuck did... Oh, shit, I forgot I did something. Give me a minute. That's right. Not now. Shut up. Not now, bitch. Do what you're told. Sorry, y'all. I had a brain fart. Something happened. I can't believe I actually did that. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I even had the thought, well, don't do that until after the podcast, and I fucking did it. Hang on one sec. Technical difficulties that I forgot or wasn't ready for. Fine, track me. Don't go anywhere. I'm always in the same town.
That's why, like, whenever those apps ask for my location services and I just don't care at the moment, I'm like, whatever. What are you gonna see? That I'm at the gas station, or that I'm on a toilet or something, or I'm chasing a child, or that I'm like going to the gym,
or that I'm doing absolutely nothing. So
yeah,
like yourself.
or I'm like taking a piss outside.
Escape room game into this. I mean, honestly, who'd have thought they would have banned you from every escape room game in Tennessee just because you're too fucking good at it? What? Don't put me in a room made of drywall and tell me I have to escape. I'm getting the fuck out of that motherfucker if I have to Sparta kick my little ass all the way home. I ain't got time for no goddamn puzzles. What puzzles me is the admission fee I paid to get in here is not gonna cover the amount of drywall I'm about to fuck up. What the fuck you mean you're calling the goddamn police to what? Bring me the key to the city for setting the fucking high score? 30 seconds flat, I'm out that bitch, I promise you. I mean,
Did you understand what he was saying?
Not really.
Okay, so the whole thing is he says, I've been banned from every escape room in Tennessee. Fuck your little clues, fuck your little puzzles. I paid you to put me in a room that I can't get out of. The rooms are made out of fucking drywall. Bitch, I'm just gonna rip the damn walls down, motherfucker.
I understood that part, yeah. When
But
they
that's
said
what.
he was
But
gonna
the
break it.
thing is, the literal name of the thing is escape.
Yeah.
He escaped.
Mm-hmm.
They're just pissed because he literally ripped the whole fucking thing apart.
Yeah.
It's like, don't blame me because I broke your puzzle because you didn't build a strong enough puzzle, bitch.
Yeah.
And my first thought is, pussies. Because, I mean, if you're going to do that, do you tell them, oh yeah, and you're not allowed to do this, and this? Because if they didn't tell him, whoop, I'm out.
Yeah. Exactly. Plus you just kick the wall down, fart on it, or maybe you tackle it with your shoulder and it just
Well,
busts
that's what he
over.
was saying. I'll just fucking, what I would consider a donkey kick, but
Yeah.
he was talking about front kick. Just kick through the wall until I get my ass out and go home. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Plus it's also drywall.
Yeah, like who the hell can kick down drywall? The only person I can think of is a child.
Yeah. And even then, Castiel would barrel right through it.
Right. Okay, next time.
But you control the minds of the people. In 1903, John D. Rockefeller funded the creation of the General Education Board. He would eventually invest $180 million into the project, or over $4 billion adjusted for inflation. Rockefeller would go on to hire the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays. In his book Propaganda, Bernays explained how they leveraged $10,000 grants to get school district after district to adopt the Rockefeller curriculum, a curriculum that openly stated it did not want a nation of thinkers, it wanted a nation of workers. It was modeled after the Prussian education system. In the 1800s, Prussia had lost a war to Napoleon. Prussian soldiers disobeyed orders, turned, and ran away. The Prussian government wanted to make sure this would never happen again, so they brought in a team of psychologists to restructure the education system. They developed the 8-hour school day of compulsory schooling, 45-minute blocks, bells, and raising your hand to go to the bathroom. Prussia would of course go on to become Germany, and Rockefeller would leverage grants to have the education model adopted all over the world. This is why I started a homeschool company that teaches real history. Check out.
Yeah, that's his little ad at the end, but
Yeah.
thoughts?
Play it again. Oh, my brain is having a hard time watching them.
You control the minds of a people. In 1903, John D. Rockefeller funded the creation of the General Education Board. He would eventually invest $180 million into the project, or over $4 billion adjusted for inflation. Rockefeller would go on to hire the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays. In his book Propaganda, Bernays explained how they leveraged $10,000 grants to get school district after district to adopt the Rockefeller curriculum, a curriculum that openly stated it did not want a nation of thinkers, it wanted a nation of workers. It was modeled after the Prussian education system. In the 1800s, Prussia had lost a war to Napoleon. Prussian soldiers disobeyed orders, turned, and ran away. The Prussian government wanted to make sure this would never happen again, so they brought in a team of psychologists to restructure the education system. They developed the 8-hour school day of compulsory schooling, 45-minute blocks, bells, and raising your hand to go to the bathroom. Prussia would of course go on to become Germany, and Rockefeller would leverage grants to have the education model adopted all over the world. This is why I started a homeschool company that teaches.
Yeah.
Wait,
Don't care about your ad.
are you sure that's not America he's talking about?
No. See, here's the thing.
Talk about Prussia, I know that, but like everything he mashed out
Prussia,
in
do you
there.
know what Prussia is?
I mean, isn't that like country?
That's like pre-Nazis, pre-Russia.
Right.
They literally, it was Russia that was in charge of everything, but because they're warriors in a war, I think it was with Germany or another, place where they had occupied,
Yeah.
went to fight, they're like, fuck you, I'm out, bitch. They're fucking bigger, they're stronger, they can kill us, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it's literally, okay, so we have to program the children to be work slaves. That's why school is the equivalency of working an 8-hour job. They teach you how to work an 8-hour job
Yeah.
through school.
Yeah.
Every 45 minutes to 2 hours working a job, what do you get? A 10 to 15 minute break.
Yeah.
That's your 10 to 15 minutes in high school and junior high or middle school to get from one class to the next.
Yeah, it was always fucking crazy too because if you didn't make it in time, they'd dock you for attendance. Especially if
or you get in
if your
trouble.
fucking
if you
class
got tardy
is here
so many times,
and you have to
your
go
parents.
all the fuck away around the school.
But see, here's the funny
That
part.
was me.
If you didn't get to your class on time and had too many tardies, the state literally came after your parents through the whatever district you lived in, but school district came after your parents. Okay, you gotta pay a fine because your kid can't get from point A to point B in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then my dad had that
Yeah.
happen to him. He got called by the school at least like 2 or 3 times saying that Andrew wasn't at his class on time, and he wasn't even ditching at that point. He was actually trying. He was trying hard to get there.
Yeah.
And they were trying to nail him for it. And so he just got tired of it and sick of it and was like, fuck
Fine,
this.
I
And
was
so,
just gonna show up, bitch.
so he just started ditching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Started just going off with his friends, doing whatever he wanted because he got sick and tired of being yelled at.
Yeah, for not actually not being a bad student, for him not being able to get from point A to point B in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he's not carrying all of his books around, so he's got to go to his locker, get the book for the next class, and go to the class.
Yeah, no, he hated that shit. Like,
I mean, especially out here, and I know in Cali too, with the size of the schools, it's like, hey, 15 minutes, fuck you, motherfucker, I can't do that shit.
yeah,
But it's literally teaching you how to work a job. I mean, look at him now.
yeah.
He's a shift lead or whatever
Yeah, no, he's a manager
thing
at Walmart.
at Walmart.
Yeah, and he's in a band.
You work 8 hours, do your share, you can only go to the bathroom if you have permission, and you get one lunch maybe if we allow it.
Yeah, he has to use his
Because
lunches
with
to take the
Walmart,
guys out.
I know the lunch is only if you've worked so many hours from working at Walmart. If
Yeah.
you don't work at least, I think it's minimum of 5 hours, you don't get a lunch.
Yep.
And no offense to Walmart and anywhere else that gives you lunch, go fuck yourselves. At 90% of the jobs I had, I didn't get a lunch, I just worked.
Yeah. Did you work part time or
Full time at most
Full-time.
of the jobs I had. I was working straight 8. Multiple, 4 to 5 days a week
Yeah.
at most of the jobs I've ever had. And the funny part was, you don't get a lunch break when you work at the gas station. Especially, like with Homegirl, only working graveyards.
Yeah, she'd like.
You don't get to take a break because there's nobody there to cover you. And if you gotta go pee, you gotta make sure that there's nobody outside or just pulled up.
Yep.
So you don't drink a lot of liquids, because if you drink a lot of liquids, pee a lot, you might miss that customer that comes in, and because you're not at the cash register, they're gonna run off with that 12-pack of beer, and that comes out of your ass.
Yeah. And there was a couple times where it was either Rosie or it was some of the other people that I've run into at gas stations where they will literally I'm the only one that's in the store, and I've only been the only one in the store for the last 10 minutes, and they're just like, if I go pee, like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why? Like, go pee. take care of yourself. And they're like, oh my god, thank you. And then they ran to the bathroom real quick. And then they're
Like
back out
about
within
to piss
5
or
minutes.
Shit themselves. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've been there. That shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world, dude.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because everything that guy mapped out in that video, I'm like, are you sure that's not America? That's not how we kind of function.
But see, that's not just America. Think about it. They call it something different in the UK because Jacksepticeye's talked about it.
Yeah.
And people I know, actually know,
It's getting
who've
worse
lived
too.
in other parts of the world,
Yeah.
and people I've heard, also online, some of the people like or watch, who've talked about, elementary or first school, junior high, middle school, second school, then
Yeah.
high school, final school, in a lot of the world. It's literally them programming you and teaching you how to be able to sit down on your ass and do an 8-hour job. But the bad part, I think, my biggest bitch about school is they don't want you to think, they just want you to do what you're told.
Yeah.
Which is funny because half the shit they teach at school nowadays, and they taught when I was in school, they taught more when I was in school than when you were in school, because I heard from Ghost y'all. Like, they taught us this. I'm like, whoa, they taught me more in that year than that. They taught me this, and I went through it.
Yeah.
We didn't get nowhere near that. We got too many stupid people in our class. I'd love to do that much work. And that's before she, fuck you, school. Came to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is school is built to make you be a good little bitch, robot, and do your job.
Yeah.
Your
literally.
job is to make good grades and shut up, sit down. Do what you're
Yeah,
told.
that's the thing I hated about high school. There was a couple teachers actually that did a commentary on it, like a couple of their lessons that they did.
Of course.
That Mr. Ashley or it was Boardman. No, it was the other guy. I had a few of them, and one of them was telling us that that the school's class rubric, because like a couple of students were questioning it and how it worked, and he was like, yeah, no, this whole system is predicated on the notion that you are becoming a worker and not a thinker. And they're like, whoa, that's kind of dumb. Like, is that how you're going to do it? And he's like, no, that's not how I'm going to do it. He's like, I encourage free thought, and I encourage you guys to become thinkers
Intelligent.
and intelligent, yes,
Yeah.
and not just be following whatever it is the book tells you to
The
do.
rhetoric.
Yeah, the rhetoric. Like, all that other BS. And it was interesting because, like, especially after the one government teacher I had, he had us, one of our first ever classes in his class, you know what he had us watch? Phantom Menace. In government class. And then he had us copy down
if
all the
that doesn't
terminologies.
Describe.
Yeah,
Nothing will.
yeah, he had us copy down all the terminologies and then write out the definitions based on what the book was saying and then relate it to the movie and then find out in the movie how it related to history and government and how it works. And then he wanted us to
Nice.
basically think of ways that we would have improved it or changed it and then vote on it. And then we were like, okay, what's the point of this? Why are we voting on this? And then after he got done with the class, for the hour, we all couldn't come to a conclusion on something. And then he did this grand gesture with his hands, and he's like, and now you know how America works. And we're like, wait, what? And he's like, you guys literally couldn't come to a solid conclusion, and you are now Congress.
It's not even that bad. You couldn't come to a solid conclusion as the voters, so there are so many opposing votes, or votes that technically don't entail or try to fix the issue, that it's literally a zeroed out vote, so you don't get to make the decisions even though you want to be consulted on what the fuck happens in your world.
Yeah, no, that's literally what he talked about too. He's like, if you ever want to know how
Russia-
Congress works, we just demonstrated Congress.
Russia was the original communist country. It was Russia, and then Germany got so strong, and this is where Adolf comes in, because he's like, fuck y'all are not fucking telling me what to do, you're not in charge of me. But yet, he literally used their communist viewpoints and the way they ran shit to literally become one of the strongest and most feared entities ever.
Yeah.
It's weird how what a lot of people don't realize is the stuff America does nowadays is more close to the current communist regime and run of politics, not with the actual original, like what the script is for what communism is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that I don't know how many hours on this damn podcast.
A lot.
Alright, next.
If the internet is cut out of the world, don't take any vaccinations. Don't consume meat that's processed in laboratories. Don't fall for the trap and believe in the aliens and strange things you see in the sky. It's the hologram trap. Don't believe it's real if you see Jesus in the sky. It's Project Blue Beam. Most of the disasters happening are from Heart Project, especially earthquakes and tornadoes. Beware from the artificial intelligence. It will be used against us eventually. In the end, everything happens by God's will, but we must take the necessary actions and precautions. By spreading awareness, we can confront the New World Order and their plans.
You want to hear that one again?
Yeah, go ahead one more time for the audience.
Always like hear you like play that one again?
Yeah, no,
So-
I like
If the
hearing it
internet is
again.
cut,
What?
I like hearing it again.
if the internet is cut out of the world, don't take any vaccinations. Don't consume meat that's processed in laboratories.
Because it's
Don't
not
fall
real
for
meat.
the trap and believe in the aliens and strange things you see in the sky. It's
Fake.
the hologram trap. Don't believe it's real if you see Jesus in the sky.
Fake.
It's Project Blue Beam. Most of the disasters happening are from Heart Project.
Now, I have something to say about the Heart Project thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the Heart
The-
Project
the-
because I've heard
the
you say
South-
bleeding before.
Pole, they have this like astronomical like telescope that's supposed to be able to look further into space and whatnot.
Yeah.
See, at the South Pole, there's less magnetic resistance and certain things where you can see deeper into space.
Yeah.
But here's the funny part. When they turned it on, they caused the earthquake that happened in New Zealand, I think it was last year or 2 years back.
Yeah.
The really big one that completely fucked New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that one is.
Interesting.
Talking about the earthquakes. But
I'm gonna
we'll
have
keep
to.
going.
I'm gonna have to look this stuff
Especially
up.
earthquakes and
Heart
tornadoes.
Project.
Beware from the artificial intelligence. It will be used against us eventually. In the end, everything happens by God's will, but we must take the necessary actions and precautions. By spreading awareness, we can confront the New World Order and their plans.
Now, do you know what the New World Order is?
I know the gist of what it's supposed to be, and I know the gist of what it tends to be called. It's supposed to be this group, small group of individuals that make grand decisions, massive decisions for the masses of the world. It's the New World Order, which is, well,
Yes
a
and
lot
no.
of conservatives called it the Communist Manifesto.
That's close.
Right.
The New World
I've been told
Order
different things.
is everybody being united 100% on 100% everything. So it doesn't matter what your decision is because your decision's already been made because we know what you're all going to think.
Yeah, like that's
That's the whole ideal behind it.
yeah.
But the,
I've heard
the
like different takes on
and
it.
it was HARP Project. H-A-R-P.
Harp,
HARP.
like an
Project.
Angles harp. Okay.
And the only reason I know that one, like I said, because of a lot of the podcasts and crazy, the deep dives I do without even trying to do it, because this stuff pops up and then I just keep going with that, like, either those people on other podcasts or more people talking about it than we didn't know all these people knew all this stuff, or why hasn't the government told us this, or why hasn't da-da-da, and da-da-da, and all this shit, and it's like, because it's under the South Pole freaking 10 nations that signed the crap, like freaking 1950 something, 60 something,
Yeah.
that technically the South Pole, Antarctica, the whole island, cannot be controlled by any one nation. It is equally shared by these 10 nations.
Interesting.
And a lot of the stuff that happens down there that's government, like I swear, like 99% of it is so fucking classified in black book. You couldn't even find it unless you had like a bigger fucking pay grade than almost God himself.
Yeah.
Unless you were actually down there working for a job.
Yeah. And most of the time you probably have to lie about it anyway.
Well, no, because they even have it set up where you can go down there as a terrorist.
Terrorist.
Wrong word.
I was gonna be like, I don't know about terrorists.
As a, when you go visit another country for fun.
You mean a tourist?
Yes, that's the one. Tourist. Because it's like, I swear it's half a mil. Maybe it's a little bit less, but I mean, right now it's probably a mil.
Yeah.
But you have to have money to go do it.
Yeah.
And
It
you're only
sucks.
allowed to be in this little spot and do these little things, and they're gonna show you this, and they're gonna do this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
But it's not actually anything. That's like them talking about giant spiders, or it looks like under the ice it used to be we've talked about rainforest and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anytime like sound bites like that pop up, I'm like, throw that in, because
Yep.
I could talk hours on that shit.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's funny because I keep hearing Blue Beam. I've now heard the Heart Project. I'm gonna have to look this shit up because it's sounding
Blue
intriguing and
Beam
scary at the same time.
Is the project where human-made UFOs are going to be called actual, like, extraterrestrial UFOs. And then, because also one of the podcasts I heard said that 90% of the people who have interacted or have a abduction story are not actually extraterrestrials, or 90 to 95%, but are not actually extraterrestrials. They're actually holograms or hallucinogens programmed into the person's brain, so that way the government can take them and study them, basically use them for an experiment,
Yeah.
or do something with their blood, or they just did it for shits and giggles because humans are evil.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, it sounds scary as fuck too, because it's like, it means that everything you think you can trust in the media is definitely a lie, or it's been fabricated.
It's not even the media, dude.
That
It's
people pay
everything
for.
that you've ever been told ever. And I know this from growing up on the East Coast, and especially because of my grandfather
Yeah.
being in the military. Some of the stuff, he didn't even realize that I knew that he knew, because of how in tune to like the energy and thoughts of everybody around me I was.
Yeah.
Dude, the shit the classification, the high level he had in the military,
Mm-hmm.
because he was literally the cook for basically, he was a military cook, Navy cook,
Yeah.
but he cooked and was around people who had like the highest of all highest classifications. And if he was only a cook, then how come as soon as he left the military, he literally every morning went to an airplane, and it's like the ones they always talk about that go to Area 51 from Nevada.
Yeah.
Here's the funny part. We lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He'd go off at the ass crack of dawn, and by 8 o'clock, or 8:50,
Mm-hmm.
same plane, heading out west. Every fucking morning, Nanny would point it out to me. Oh, there's people.
Hmm.
We knew when it was going out, and we knew when it was coming in.
Yeah.
It was so down to the fucking goddamn second minute every day. Without fail, if we were outside, oh, there's people. Oh, there's
Ritualistic
people.
routine.
It was so finite of a, he's leaving, he's coming back. And he was a civilian at that time, working for the military. So either he had heard enough, or saw and knew enough, from not only just being the cook, but being the cook for somebody high enough, or having enough intelligence to, yeah, sure, just label me as the cook, and he's actually in deep shit in the military. I always knew that the stuff he knew that was going on behind everybody else's closed doors and eyes that nobody wants to look at or know is real,
Yep.
would literally break half the fucking goddamn United States civilians' freaking brains. The way he carried himself around, he had to hide certain things. And because of the way he died, I think it was possibly also, he could have been somebody who was around the UFOs, because I've also heard on some of the podcasts that talk about like the thing at the South Pole that's supposed to be this giant, astronomical, freaking awesome telescope.
Yeah.
And people who've been around UFOs and stuff. It was in the same podcast. The guy was talking about how, yeah, people were around actual UFOs from actual extraterrestrials, which, like, me and you've talked, I consider it like angels.
Yeah.
Or the lower God sort of thing. The angels pretending to be gods.
Yeah.
Man. The thing is, the technology is so strong, within a week or a month, you're literally dead. And weird, unknown reason. But I mean, he was always a smoker.
Yeah.
So that was part of what it looked like, but from what I saw and remember as a kid, which I never talked about ever, it had nothing to do with smoking.
Yeah. It had to do with something else.
Oh yeah. I got woke up in the middle of the night because we had to take him to the ER. And I was there, and Nanny called Mom and Dad. They came and got me from the ER after spending some time figuring out, talking to Nanny and the doctors and what the hell's happened to my dad from Russ. It was a whole situation, and I was so aware of everything that was happening, I knew that he was going to die.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't crush me or destroy me. Because instantly when the situation happened, because there was something that happened like the week or two beforehand, because I always went there on Fridays. It's Friday's pizza night.
Yeah.
We go to Pizza Hut night, because we always went to Pizza Hut. Because you could sit down and eat your pizzas way back in the 80s.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that. They don't do that shit as much nowadays.
Yeah, no, it was.
It's like fucking Domino's. Okay, let
Yeah,
me
it
cook
was-
you, put your pizza together, here you go, bye.
Yeah, it was interesting because it was like an 80s, 90s thing that like the new millennium was still around for a bit before it just died and changed.
Well, it didn't even die. You know what it was, right?
What?
Or I should say, what it is. Pizza Hut technically doesn't own any of their locations. They are all
Yeah.
just bought a permit to basically run. None of it's run by corporate. It's all franchise.
Yeah, I know.
Like
that's franchise on the box.
99% of. Actually, I'll say 99% because I know there's a couple locations where they do it like they did it in the 80s.
What's even funnier is the box will say franchise, Pizza Hut, a franchise, a family-owned company.
Yeah.
That's what it'll say on the box.
Oh, I know. But I mean, that shit to me. Ooh, hang on a sec. Apparently, I need some more oxygen.
Apparently.
Yeah, but it's the thing that they don't do restaurants like they used to.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, even Sizzler, which used to be Golden or Western Sizzler.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome when it was Western Sizzler,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been there a couple times doing Grubhubs.
Yeah.
Dude, that place has gone down the shitter.
Yeah. We'll adjust this a bit. There we are. Now I'm not completely off camera.
But it's just, from what I know, I actually know from like, because I used to do this all the time. It's what's called remote viewing. You know what that is?
Yeah, remote view. Well, remote view tends to be when you're able to operate a device from.
No.
You're able to operate a camera from your
You
device.
are remote viewing. Do you know what remote viewing means?
Generally speaking, it means you're operating a device.
No, not device. Do you not know the military thing, remote viewing?
No.
Remote viewing is literally you astral projecting yourself to go look at stuff.
Oh.
Now, what usually happens, and I know this from one of the metaphysical, if you look up the podcast, because I don't know if you have in the last week.
Been kind of busy.
One of the guys is a remote viewer.
Yeah.
And he's talked about it on a few of the episodes. We don't actually know what we're looking at. All we do is we go and either we write or draw or tell somebody else what we're seeing, and they write it down. That you literally give them numbers and they go see stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it at the time, and looking back on it, fucking obvious. But I've even left in their comments that, yeah, no, I used to remote view way back in the day. I mean, either I've lost the skill or I just stopped doing it, so the muscle's no longer possible. It's a brain thing.
Yeah.
But I used to, not even realizing it, remote view things that probably would scare the shit out of people if I said, no, this is actual fact, no, this is real. Back in the 80s, because I actually did say shit like that. Everybody's like, you don't know that. You're not a member of the government. You don't have, I don't give a fuck what I have. I know this, and this are real, and this, and this are complete bullshit, or the original thing was real, and they're just trying to recreate it so that way they can get away with shit.
Yeah.
It's the way my brain has always worked. It's seeing what's not there, while seeing what's there.
Yeah, so it's basically like having a massively strong, like, it's like being able to see through the Force.
Yes, but in such a way that you can actually, you don't have to see it through the Force, you can actually transport your spiritual form there.
Yeah, it's like Luke Skywalker astral projecting
yeah.
the galaxy, yeah.
Yeah, with, whatever that movie was. Yeah.
Last Jedi, yeah.
I always thought that was stupid, no offense, because as soon as he's done astral projecting, he becomes one with the Force. It's like, seems kind of half-assed, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I didn't like that at all. Like, I know.
I don't think anybody likes that.
Super unpopular opinion for those of you guys who are like Last Jedi-ites and love Ryan Johnson and love the Broom Boy, but I did not care about that whole state. As soon as Luke Skywalker popped up on scene and astral projected, and then it showed him like hovering on a rock, I was like, oh, he's gonna die, isn't he? And I'm like, because of the way they framed it, the way they framed it, and the way the pacing was, I'm like,
I understood why he projected his Force form somewhere else to distract the bad guy.
Yeah.
That made sense to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't like, one, it was obvious he wasn't using his lightsaber because of the color. Two, obviously some other stuff was happening because he literally made it so that way they could all find their way out, and then he becomes translated, become one with the Force.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
That seemed
like
kind of
that
like a half-assed way to kill him off.
Yeah, no, it was literally the producers themselves making a story change or a story decision, and not a writer. Like Ryan himself obviously wanted Broom Boy, and he obviously wanted some of the other stuff that was in there. But as far as like Luke Skywalker goes, that was obviously a Kathleen Kennedy shit.
Oh yeah.
Like that was that's not a story decision that happens in a movie. That is a producer deciding to fist their own way in. And now Marvel is learning the hard way. And
some of that shit. Oh yeah.
Feige has completely scrapped Daredevil born again.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Like what they're doing is they're rebuilding the show from scratch again, and they're rewriting everything.
Why?
Because they didn't like the way the first 4 episodes were. They knew for a fact based on how no, we're not talking about the old Daredevil. Like we're not talking about Netflix Daredevil. We're talking about the newer Daredevil that's going to be part of Disney Plus.
Well, no, but they already had the other Daredevil on Disney Plus.
No,
they had the other one on
They had it on She-Hulk. Like, he was on She-Hulk for like...
Yeah, no, I know that. But I'm saying, the ones that it was on Netflix, they actually have it on Disney Plus too,
they were able to license it, yes. But this new show
is... It's supposed to be rewriting it.
It's supposed to be I get that. It's supposed to be like later in the timeline. But they are completely redoing it because from what Feige says, the quality... Because he you know how Feige is. He likes to match what you had before with where you're at. but he likes to be able to have it be a even progression. The new
Yeah.
Daredevil was going to be completely just bass out.
The way they did it was a complete clusterfuck.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
not going to
no.
be at all like.
I
Phases
remember
1 through
you
3.
telling me that when you pointed out the Daredevil to me. I didn't finish it. I mean, not like I fucking care. I mean, it was a good show from where I got to it, but I don't know. For me, the way the Daredevil is in my head and the way the TV show went, it was
Yes.
kind of like,
Yeah.
Because I've seen a few of the comics, I've looked into it, not fully, not like with Wolverine or anything that I go deep on,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've looked into it. I know the story fairly well.
Yeah, Matt Murdock goes off and becomes Daredevil, fights, crime, and then he's a lawyer by day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually really liked the way the Netflix show was, so I'm hoping
It was
that
decent.
I'm hoping that
Not the best, but it was decent.
well, it also was operating off a Netflix budget, not a big budget Disney studio
Wow.
budget.
No offense to Netflix, they're fucking already like 5 million in the whole sling go fuck themselves.
Yeah, but I really liked the grittiness of Daredevil. I liked the grittiness of it. I liked where what it was for what it was. And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping is that they're able to take the tones, take some of the stuff they did from the show on Netflix, and able to transition it in a way that works for Disney with
Well,
Marvel.
We won't know until we see it.
Right, which is going to be like 2025 from what they're saying, because they're going to spend all this next year filming it.
Alright, next time,
Yeah.
because I think this one will get an interesting conversation to do with us, because the next two sound bites together, it's a good discussion.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I just think it's rich when these people try and virtue signal and say,
You disagree with us, you're a racist.
but they're also screaming, not necessarily racist things, but it's identity politics. It's, this is ours, us and them. It's the people who constantly scream about inclusivity that are actually creating more of a divide by having this huge sense of identity politics. I just think it
I mean, agree?
Honestly, yes. Like, in a sense that, like, it feels like identity.
The people who bitch about white people or other people stealing blah 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 from another
Right.
thing, 90% of them are actually stealing shit from white people.
Well, not only that, but also everyone stole it from the Egyptians. Like,
Depends on your
literally.
viewpoint.
like, literally, like, the earliest class, one of the earliest classes that you'll ever recollect, unless you had it differently wherever you were at in school, in elementary school, like 2nd, 3rd grade, you learn about the Egyptians. You learn about one of the very first civilizations.
That's what
and
you did in the
religions.
90s, yeah.
Yes, and then
That's not what I did.
late 90s, early 2000s, I learned a lot about Egyptians and how they were one of the first ever, like, high-tier societies that were recorded by history.
But see, that's also a lie too, because Egyptian was in a high-tier society. They were a
they are high-tier for what they were.
generational society. No, they weren't actually high-tier. They just went off of what they were given. They weren't actually high-tier. The ones who came before they were called Egyptians were actually the high-tier civilization.
Well, my point being is that the current thing that she's talking about with identity politics, it infiltrates everything.
Well, I mean, that's quite literally, and I've heard a lot of LGB bitch about the T doing what a lot of them are doing.
Which is ridiculous, but
Well, no, I understand it because I'm gay. I want to, have who I want as my sexual partner.
yeah.
So do the lesbians, and the bisexuals want both. The T is, I don't like what body I'm in. I'm going to cut it apart or change it chemically.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly going to give you what you want either. So it's a different dynamic. It has nothing to do with sexuality. That's like the whole point of the LGBTQ.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. The T is transsexual, not transgender.
Yeah.
They've changed it.
They keep changing that shit over and over again, and then it confuses the shit out of me.
Well, the whole T, it's not LGBTQ. What it should be is LGBTQA+. Because if you're asexual, you know, that those sort of like spectrums and whatnot, that's different than the T. The T, in my opinion, should not be put with the rest of them because T has nothing to do with sexuality. That has to do with your physical and mental state. Has nothing to do with sexuality. The rest of the alphabet mafia has to do with sexuality. So the T's can go fuck themselves. They're not part of the alphabet mafia. I know that's gonna piss off Nico and a few other people that actually pay attention to what I say, but I mean, that's from what I've seen mostly, especially the last like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against it. You do what you want to do. I don't care.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect me. But don't try to propagandize or, you know, brainwash my children sort of thing. And that's what I see more than not. But I've also see it from the other side too. But I also see the stuff where it's, well, here, I think the next soundbite might go pushing into that. I don't remember.
The left, the liberals, are far more tyrannical than the right. Now, again, I'm not ignorant to the fact that there are extremes to both ends, so of course you're going to encounter corrupt individuals, but the overwhelming majority of at least the representation of the left and liberals that I have seen in the media and in my personal experience, they're far more tyrannical and it's far more authoritarian how they conduct themselves, and it's all under this guise of equality and inclusion, as I've said before. Only so far as you agree with them, you can only have this equality and inclusion if you agree with the left.
That kind of goes to like my whole thought process with the whole like T thing, because okay, either you agree with me or you're Satan, or you're a Nazi and all that shit. Some of them like to spill and spit. Now Nico I have no issue with because Nico's like, you be who you are, I'll be who I am.
Yeah.
That sort of mentality and that sort of way, which is what the liberals and the lefts are supposed to be, is not what the liberals and lefts are doing. That's my biggest bitch. You say one thing, but you do the exact opposite because I'm white, I'm man, and I like eating and fucking pussy. So that makes me Satan incarnate, even though technically everything you're saying is literally Lucifer's playbook. Hello? Have you been paying attention?
No, they're not paying attention. They're paying attention to their gameplay.
Stop making more people. There's not enough stuff on the planet. If there wasn't enough stuff on the planet, then the planet will kill us. Shut up and let it happen. When it happens, it happens. That's literally the end of times. Oh wait, we're there because you're all fucking it up right now.
Plus also, you know, things like COVID doesn't just happen because of human influence. It also happens because nature is like, you know, y'all are kind of being dicks right now. I'm just gonna start offing you.
Well, no, what was it? I heard this earlier today. Some chick, I can't remember her name, said, yeah, well, we tried to vaccinate the entire world. That didn't work. We tried to tell you and propagandize you with global warming. That didn't work. Well, next we're going to fuck with your water.
Yeah, it's kind of messed
I've
up
heard that
too.
one like 2 or 3 times and other people make comments on that one.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up too because it's like you have propaganda, you have weaponized identity, like basically someone being able to have their own name, someone being able to have their own gender, and you have these people who are literally like,
well, if you don't believe what I believe, then
you've got,
fuck you, you don't get your freedom.
You've got well-meaning individuals who just want to be able to be themselves, love other people, and have rights the same as everybody else. And then you've got this, like, clusters of extremists who are...
Which are usually the loudest assholes.
Yeah, and they are trying to silence anyone who is on what they perceive to be the other side.
Or tells them they're wrong.
Right, and they try to start wars, or they try to start battles, or they try to start whatever. And then there's me, where I was asking Nico about, you know, that sort of thing. We're going back and forth.
The lunacy, because we've
going
talked
back
about
and forth about, you know, gender identity and things like that. And Nico is like, well, what do you think about it actually? Because I keep hearing you talking about it, and using certain phrasing. And so when I was like, well, what I actually think about it is this, and I kind of explained the fact that I'm like, you know, people who identify a certain way deserve the same amount of rights as everyone else who identifies differently. And don't shove your shit down people's throats. And live and let live. Like, you know, that sort of thing. Like, don't turn somebody into a token or a weapon for your own selfish indulgence of your own propaganda and your own, like, mouth service towards yourself.
And that's where the left and the liberals are currently acting, and that's why it fit into what I was saying about the, you know, what we're seeing with the biggest, loudest screaming.
Said that to Nico, and Nico was like, oh my god, you truly are an ally. And I was like, noted sarcasm or actually being serious and genuine? And Nico's like, no, that was completely genuine. I'm like, okay, good. Because I was going to be like, the fuck? I'm trying over here.
It's like, wait a minute. Are you kicking me in the dick or are you patting me on the shoulder?
Right.
I'm patting you on the shoulder. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, like, I'm just like going, the fuck, man. But, yeah, no, it
but
was
that's where everybody's
crazy.
head goes. It's got to be my fight against your fight. Like, that was a couple back, too. It's me versus you. We're all one side or the other. No, why can't we, like, do what you want to do? Just leave me, my kids, and my family, because this is the life I chose.
Yep.
Out of your bullshit.
Yeah.
You want to bitch and preach about wanting your own rights? Good. Then get your assholes who are pretending to be chicks, or who actually want to be chicks, to have their own league.
Yeah.
I mean, we funded, no offense, the men funded the women to do it. Now it's men pretending to be women. Well, if you're men, then no offense, you already have the funding because you used to be a male, you know, person in that sport, but you realized you couldn't beat the other guys. So grow up here, fund it, and start the trans soccer, swim team, blah, 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 blah. You know, the list goes on and on for all the sports and shit.
Yeah, no, they're playing by predetermined rules and world that existed before all this shit happened, and trying their hardest to
make themselves go into the slot.
Yeah, push themselves into somewhere where it wasn't allowed before.
And it shouldn't be allowed because technically you're not that.
I'm not entirely sure about that one, but I do know that I like your idea of having its own team.
It's the thing, or the thing I keep hearing, which is the argument versus, you know, like the trans men playing in women's sports. Well, you were born a man, and then what? All of a sudden, after going, because most of the guys that are in the sports that are beating all the girls' records, which still makes them like the shittiest guy player ever.
Yeah.
Are literally doing it in a way to be the most badass, but they're not the most badass because they went through puberty as a man, which means your bones and your muscles are denser than a woman's is after puberty, which means you're literally decided to wait until you were 18, which you should do before you transition, 18 to 21 in my opinion. But the issue is you literally waited until the last second you were fully developed and weak by man standards, but fucking almost superhuman to as strong as the woman who works her hardest and been training for this shit most of her life, if not all of her life.
Yep, and selectively some women just kick their ass just, you know, because they can, because they're that strong.
Well, no, I understand those, but those are outliers.
Yeah.
Those aren't the main thing. The main thing is the women who are usually the top of the field having a dude, because no offense to dumbass with the whole swimming thing, he still had a wanker on. I'm sorry, you're a dude. You didn't cut your dick or balls off. You can shut the fuck up and give the damn title to the chick. You fucking bitch. Well, no, I mean, if you're literally gonna cheat. In my opinion, how you're supposed to cheat. Or don't fucking cheat at all, bitch.
Yeah.
That's my biggest complaint. But next soundbite.
You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that sure, the mushroom clouds. And there always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and little trees and that blows everything down. There's always been a conspiracy theory that those were all basically fabricated at this facility, that those bombs actually were never detonated.
How do they fake it?
They just did, yeah.
So this is it?
Well, so there's a, yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, I love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
Now wait,
You son of a
there's
bitch.
another
How
one.
is that happening yet the camera's like totally stable and fine?
Oh my
And
god.
by the way, the film is fine. The radiation that didn't cause any damage to the film.
But wait, there's another one.
You've seen all the,
Oh,
you've seen all
no.
the grainy footage of nuclear
Damn.
test.
That one's not the one they showed on. There's another one on that, which it might be further down the list, where it's literally the footage right before the bomb goes off. It's just a house. Right before the film literally blips,
Yeah.
you can see the shift in the film. 'Cause, you know, they cut the whole film,
Yep.
and they cut the whole film to something else, and it's a fucking truck next to the house where there wasn't a truck
Oh wow.
at the beginning of the footage.
Yeah, wouldn't the radiation just completely destroy, you know, the
Old
footage there?
school film from
Yeah.
like the 50s and 60s when
Yeah.
they were showing that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like that's
Or
what
40s,
I would think.
50s, I think.
That's what
But
I
yeah,
would think is that like if
Well,
you're
it would,
letting
because
a
they weren't
radiation bomb.
technologically advanced enough to have a way to protect it.
Yeah.
And 90% of the stuff they tell you to protect yourself from radiation is lead. And what does lead do? It poisons you. So you're getting poisoned by the radiation, or you're getting poisoned by the lead suit you're wearing.
Yeah.
Wait, so no matter what I do, I'm fucking poisoned?
Yeah.
Fuck this whole thing. Just fucking, I'll sit in the goddamn, I'll sit in the damn bus while the nuke's going off. Fuck it. I'm gonna die. Well, at least the ride was fun.
Zen Buddhism, originating in ancient China and Japan, focuses on mindfulness and meditation. A Zen master once said, "The obstacle is the path." This Zen teaching emphasizes the importance of confronting challenges and difficulties as opportunities for growth and self-discovery, guiding individuals toward enlightenment and inner peace. Zen Buddhism.
Zen Buddhism sounds great.
No. With that said to me, or the ideal and thing it clicked in my head, fucker, but literally said to me, "Oh, you mean all that crap I've been telling you and other people for years, and you're the only one who caught on to it?"
Yeah.
It's no. There's a reason for it. Just do it,
Yeah.
and then you learn something or become stronger afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm always preaching and stuff.
Yeah, one of the stores we went to today was I don't remember exactly what the store was called, but it had all these crystals in it, and it was one of those. It was one of those shops.
Hidden Sage.
Something like that. And it was in the
Yeah,
mall.
it's. Oh, in the mall?
Yeah, it was in the mall.
Fuck that. No, the better one's down the street.
That one's gone.
Did they finally take that one out?
Yeah, Hidden Sage is gone.
Oh.
The one that was at the end of the street corner.
Well, it was right before you got to like 18,
Yeah.
I think, or right
was-
after 18, before
Yeah.
23rd.
It was around around the same area as the Maverick.
Somewhere between there.
Yeah. No, it's gone. Like there's a store that's in the mall now that does this similar thing, and everyone
So maybe
really
they
excited
just-
by it.
Because they weren't making enough business, somebody else decided to buy the whole thing and said, put a store up in the mall.
Yep.
Didn't know
pretty
that.
much. Yeah, no, pretty much.
Maybe we'll swing by the mall tomorrow and you can show me.
Yeah, I was gonna, at some point, we're gonna go back there, and we're gonna start, like, getting some stuff that's there. Because they didn't have
Do they
some
have
of the
white sage?
They have, like, 7 different sages there.
Nice. I like white
They
personally.
even have, like, a chart that shows you the different sages and, like, the different stuff that it does. And they
Oh, I
had,
know they do,
they
but
were out of
the
dragon.
reason I like white sage,
Yeah.
one, it's slightly hallucinogenic.
Oh, I'm gonna be
But
trying to get all of
two,
all 7.
It's also, I like white because of the easiest way to say it, the way it lets my body relax enough to become as close to pure energy without actually leaving this physical form.
It was literally one of my favorite stores in the entire mall. It was great.
Okay.
I love the energy. I love
Tomorrow
the
I'll
scents.
swing by and grab you 9, 10 o'clock. Sound good?
In the morning?
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a podcast with Paul tomorrow.
What time?
11.
Fucker. Okay, then I'll come get you at 8. Or, well, 8:30 after I drop off. Well, no, the mall doesn't open till 9.
No, it doesn't. No, I believe
That's what I'm saying. Grab you at 9 and go down to the mall. You can show me the store. Dude, I'll go in and out of that thing in 5 minutes. Or, okay, I know where it is now. Now I'll just take you home or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'll just buy something and then we'll leave.
Yeah.
Not like I give a shit. I don't anymore go into a store and look at everything. I go in, look to see if they have something I want or something I would like. If they don't, I just leave.
Yeah.
I'm in and out so goddamn fast. It's like, did you even fucking like look at anything in that store? No, I saw everything. They don't have anything I want.
Yeah, no, she spent a good, like, what, 15, 20 minutes in that store?
Dude, I could probably spend 5 minutes, see everything she saw, and I'm like, okay, that's what he's talking about. That's what I thought about that one. Okay.
Yeah, no, it
And
was,
go.
I loved it, though. I walked in and I was like, and there was a couple different areas. There was a little flag they had that had, like, this little nice mantra set on there. Like, I
Nice.
loved it. It was great. I like the energy and everything. There was actually one of the stages I want to get because it's supposed to ward off evil and it's supposed to cleanse out negative energy.
You'll have some resistance in this house, but go for it.
Oh, I figure I'll have a lot of resistance.
Depends on when you do it and how you do it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also, you know, the whole, like, there's smoke in the house sort of thing, so you gotta be extra careful with it.
Yeah.
But the issue I had with hidden sage and the white sage they sold is I'd light it, I'd blow on it for it to burn,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't do the smoke like I liked. So I literally had to use something else so that way the flame would stay so I'd get the proper smoking.
Yeah.
But if they have the sticks, I'd like to try it.
They even have runes.
Well, of course.
They have runes. They
I
ever
don't-
had
I
a
don't-
lot of shit there. It was great.
I mean, I can deal with that. I usually don't deal with runes. I do it a different way.
Yeah.
Than is what is told as the proper way, or the this is what fuck you and how you think it should be done. I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
I am literally a solitary Wiccan, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the biggest Christian, Muslim, Buddhist you'll ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, you see my lunacy. I'm a little bit of everything all rolled into one.
It's weird because I felt more positive energy and more alignment
Happiness in that.
in that store than I ever have felt at a church.
And see, there's a thing that, for me, I have to do that for myself, because if I don't do that for myself, when I go to church, I don't feel what I know I'm supposed to feel, or the energy that's supposed to be at church. But that also tells you sometimes that the church's not right for you.
Yeah, no, I felt that way because when I walked in, I was like, oh my god, like this feels like
So fucking neutral and so fucking zen.
yeah, zen and
Yep.
at peace. And with me having my name thing happening and all this other shit, and the third eye opening, as you know how we talked about before, like
Extensively, yes.
yeah, no, I was like, oh my god, like this feels natural.
Like home.
Yeah, this feels like where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
And whenever I've gone to any church or whatever, I'm just like, they say it's supposed to be a church. They say there's supposed to be good energy here, but it sort of just seems like a building to me with fancy lettering.
Well, that's how I've always felt if I've ever, like, gone to a Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of the Protestant, Baptist, or any other church, including Methodist,
Yeah.
the only one I felt any, like, zen at is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or me, out in the middle of fucking BFE, in the middle of the woods, so fucking meditative, so zen, you couldn't fucking...
Couldn't touch it.
Oh yeah, no. I was just gone, but at the same time, so aware of everything and anything around me. It's fun.
Nice.
Next soundbite.
Okay, let's test how old our ears are, so it's when we stop hearing the sound.
Tell me when it stops for you.
Like, where am I supposed to hear that anymore?
Uh-huh. When you stop hearing it.
About now.
Okay, you're about where I am. 38, 37.
Yeah. Got to that point and I'm like, oh wait, it's gone now. Okay.
I actually have to make sure. It's like, okay, one more second.
Yeah, at first I was like, wait, is it gone or am I just...
Yeah, you have to take that half a second realization. Is it gone or do I just want it to shut up?
Yeah, I was the whole time going, fuck up, that's 8 feet now!
Well, no, when stuff like that pops to me, I'm just like, go to Zen mode. And the first time I didn't even pay attention to the numbers.
Yeah.
So it goes from like 93 down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm always between a 37 to a 35.
Yeah. That was about where I was.
Yeah. Because that's all you were paying attention to.
Apparently, science just found out that plants can see you when you stand next to
Vegans.
What the fuck am I gonna eat now?
What the fuck am I going to eat now? Is what she said. Science has proven vegetables can see you. The fuck am I gonna eat now? Is what the vegetarian says. For me, that's a, well, at least I'm not eating a living creature. Fuck you! Another mark that says you're full of shit.
Yeah, plants live too.
Plants are more alive than most animals.
Yeah.
That's why I always think it's funny. Well, you have the carnivore and then you have the herbivore. You mean to eat something that walks or eat something that grows in one spot?
Yeah.
Technically still the same amount of alive.
Right?
So, here's my question to you. When the farmer, so that way he can make money, uses his machine to either sow the wheat,
Yeah.
or rip up all the freaking, pop off the fucking corn kernels, or they take the beanstalk off of the bean for green beans.
Yep.
That quite literally means you murdered a living entity. Who's to say that spirit doesn't stay with you forever, and that's why you have so much hindering you, because literally everything you eat is like you, like we talked about with your mom. Now that you gave me your ass, you're like you feel a goofy ass laughing and being a complete goofball with me.
Yep.
And it's the thing of, if you realized how much everything actually saw of everything else all the time, you wouldn't fucking eat a thing. Because, I mean, technically, even you drinking water, technically, you're drinking water that a dinosaur pissed out 500 million years ago, or that's what they say, 500 million years ago, or however many millions they want to throw on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if all the water on Earth is all the same water, then a plant has drank it and then expressed it out through putting out oxygen and carbon and all, you know, the other chemicals in our breathing air. So technically you're breathing the air of dinosaurs and plants and other animals from 1 million plus years ago, drinking the same water they drank, and literally walking and shitting on the same basically dirt and grass they've been shitting and eating on since when they were alive.
Yeah.
The only difference is because we have stuff that falls from space onto Earth, it's just piling up and it just looks like dirt because it piles up slowly.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, you're literally walking on dead bodies of people who lived 1 million years ago, dinosaurs, or 1,000,001 other things.
Yeah.
You're drinking the water, aka dinosaur piss, that's been filtered for 1 million years.
Yeah.
It's also the water you swim in.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you're pissing dinosaur piss.
Yes.
This is called the double slit experiment, and it proves that we live in a simulation.
Oh.
When you're not observing something,
You
it
have
doesn't
to see
exist.
this.
It's a wave of possibilities. It's like a video game. It hasn't even rendered in yet. As soon as you observe it, that's when it becomes solid matter. Nothing is real.
Since the photons travel one by one, some through this slit, some through that slit, you would expect them to leave a pattern of two stripes on the wall. And you would be wrong. They mysteriously create a band of stripes. This is what you would expect to see if a constant beam of light shined through the two slits. It would spread across the wall like a wave. So how can single bullet-like particles of light create a wave pattern? This could only happen if the particles go through both slits at the same time. In other words, the particle is in two places at once. But strangest of all is what happens when we put detectors next to the slits. When the photons are being watched, the wave pattern disappears. Take away the detectors, and the wave pattern comes back. This suggests that we can change the way reality behaves just by looking at it. Does this mean that reality itself?
This is called
Now,
What the fuck?
hold your thought on that. This is where my brain goes into it, because I pulled up that fact because it's another fact that I've heard in other scientific stuff. It's the atoms, the particles, the energy, the neutrons, electrons, and protons that are in the atoms, and the quarks that are inside of the neutrons, protons, and electrons that are in the atoms.
Yeah.
Guess what? They only look like that when you look at them. When you don't look at them, that's not how they act. Only when they are observed
Yeah.
by something else or an actual entity is the only way they work the way they work. Which means all the science and all the physics doesn't work the way you think it works. Everything that we've ever known or ever been told or taught in school from a scientific point of view, going down to molecules and atoms and stuff, is only happening when scientists observe it. When you're not observing it, it doesn't act in the pattern you think it should. Because as soon as you think this is what the pattern should be, that's how it acts. Because it's being watched, so it has to follow the rules of your reality and understanding of your reality.
Huh. It's brain quantum physics shit.
Quantum physics.
Yeah.
That's where I've always. That's where
Quantum
my brain
theory
goes.
and quantum physics and
Oh, yeah.
relativity, that sort of thing.
And beyond, yeah.
Yes. That is so. Wow.
So only because you're observing me do I exist.
Yeah.
And only because I'm observing you do you exist. But here's the thing. Adam and Eve. If we'll just go with them because call them whatever name, because depending on what region, the origin stories, blah 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 blah. The two original people who bred and made humans, Homo sapiens,
Yeah.
if nothing happens unless it's observed, then that literally proves there is an entity or a one person in charge of everything, because if there was nobody to observe it, then it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So all of existence is only here because God, a la 50 million names you want to call them, or like you, the Force,
Yep.
if there wasn't a consciousness there observing and watching everything, nothing would exist. So technically, like I've brought up before, this is all a dream, and it's not even our dream. We're just characters in God's dream.
That's mind melting. That's some big brain shit, but it's also simple and makes sense too, though.
But I mean, that's the stuff, because that literally is like, okay, which means this fact, this fact, this fact, this fact, which literally proves there is a God or entity that started everything, because without them observing it, it would not exist. And
Yeah.
before we became conscious enough to observe it, he wasn't able to leave to let everything play its course.
Yeah. That is so trippy.
Yeah, if you were high right now, you'd be
Tripping
going
balls.
all fucking off the end.
Yeah.
1868, an astonishing event occurred in the scientific community when American fossil collector William J. Meister discovered traces of a beetle under the sole of a modern shoe. It seemed that a young person had accidentally stepped on this beetle and killed it. However, the strange thing is that this beetle species had been extinct for at least 260 million years, even before the first dinosaurs appeared. And the shoe, with its modern design, was clearly manufactured after 1970. So how was this fossil created? Immediately after that, the International Archaeological Center checked all the artifacts and discovered a metal vase with strange patterns that was excavated in 1852 in Massachusetts, USA. Can you believe it? It is 600 million years old. Since then, researchers have seriously considered removing the theory of evolution from all education systems. And finally, the most important evidence was discovered in 1972, when workers in the Republic of Gabon, Africa, found hundreds of barefoot prints of many human individuals. Following that, they discovered an abandoned high-tech nuclear reactor, and the results of the appraisal showed that the reaction and footprints are 1.8 billion years old.
Whoa.
The question arises, where did they come from? Ancient super civilizations or time travelers?
What the fuck?
Now, here's my thought on that. That literally proves this planet was already here. Restart. That's the Big Bang thing.
Yeah.
Literally, every so many millions or billions of years, Jesus,
Yeah.
or, well, not Jesus, the Christ of that generation,
Yeah.
comes back to save those souls that are supposed to be saved. Damn the souls that are supposed to be damned. Literally, God the Father creates a whole new setting. Restart!
Interesting. So you're saying that existence itself is eternal and cyclical,
Always on repeat.
and cyclical, like a repeat track.
So think about it this way. By that thought process, going into some of the other stuff I think about,
Yeah.
and that I've brought up when I just go on a random tangent every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It goes into the thing of, so you have always existed, and in some realities, you are always my brother-in-law, we're always become best friends. The situation I'm in always happens.
Yeah.
And eventually, this world ends, and we are no longer physical forms. We are resurrected or ethereal beings who can be either full physical or pure energy and go anywhere. It has always happened, it always is happening, and it constantly happens on an automatic repeat everywhere and anywhere in every dimensions, all over existence, which we only have maybe 1/1,000,000th of 1/1,000,000th of a sight of what's actually happening. In this existence, the Big Bang Theory says, well, it happened with Big Bang. Who lit the match? Same jackass every time, in every universe. It's always the same shit. You get the same blueprints if you become a god that Jesus got to start your world.
Remember the times when I would tell you that I had a weird dream or whatever?
Uh-huh. Are we going into one of those? Those are always fun. I'll set down my phone for this one. I love these.
So, basically, on one hand, I thought it was a nightmare.
Okay.
I believed it was, because of the weird shit I saw in it.
You thought it was a nightmare because it was a scary event in what you perceived as a dream.
Right. And it really was just a repeat of what had happened before, only slightly different. And at one point, there was a lot of memes around. Like, I thought I was having a fucking Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness moment, where I saw, like, a bunch of
But see, here's
different
the thing.
memes.
It's not the multiverse of madness because you're not mad. And this is where I know where I am on my enlightenment journey.
Yeah.
Because I rarely remember dreams. And dreams, from some people's, depending on your religious or whatever your scientific or philological, well, you know what I mean.
Physiological, yeah.
It's when you're sleeping, you literally go to another universe where you exist, or another of the multiverse, and you're literally hitching a ride on yourself from another timeline, another throw of the dice. So everything you experience, and if you experience where you saw multiple yous standing somewhere observing other yous, or you all talking and observing with each other, is literally you becoming so aware of yourself after the end, or, you know, whatever, however viewpoint you want to look at it, on you becoming that self-aware, that you literally see every outcome that has ever happened or could ever happen from the point of your birth. And they're all the different yous.
Yeah.
The only difference between you here and you there, one decision. And with all the decisions you've made in your life, making the decisions to do, not to do, or not making the decision at all because you don't want to, are the fucking forks.
And it branches the timeline multiple times.
Infinitely. That's why I thought it was funny about the first Loki season, about them talking about, no, we have to keep the main timeline.
Yeah.
There is no main timeline. Everything branches everywhere all at once, infinitely.
Yeah, I saw, like, some weird shit in that dream because I saw, like, different versions of me. I saw, like, different versions of you and other people. And I was so, like, weirded out by it. And then, like...
You lost your mind. Equivalent. Because you're like, how the fuck, where the fuck, who the fuck?
Oh, I was really blazed. Like, it was that intense. And...
it was like you were tripping while you were tripping.
Yeah. and I was sitting there perceiving all of it, and I was seeing like different versions of me dealing with crises, dealing with dark things happening. Like it was like what has happened to me so far was happening in different varying ways across the multiverse of me. And it was like, it was basically what you just talked about, like a lot of the what we're talking about right now, happening. Down to the point where there was at one point, for some reason, one of me's was at the beginning of time itself.
From their perspective, yes.
Yeah, in a linear perspective, it was their perspective from the beginning. Of their limited perspective.
Do you know what that tells me?
What?
From their perspective, it was the beginning of time because they were either being shown how it all started, or they were at the point where it'd be like, if I become translated and you don't, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
And I'll literally show you, remember all that stuff I always used to talk to you about? And, you know.
Yep.
It's like, let me show you. It looks like it's the start of everything, but actually, it's me starting everything from where I'm top dick, top god, and looks the exact same because I let you sit there and watch the whole thing go, and it go and go and go, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Eventually you get there.
Yeah.
You're not there yet. You'll be there.
Yeah.
It was a teachable moment. Either it was me or somebody else in your life that was showing you that because either you hadn't gotten there or it's when you had gotten there because you'd been given the book.
Yeah.
You saw the beginning of existence because it was the beginning of the existence you start, your reality, your spot in the infinite creation of everything.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is that when someone says beginning of creation, what they're really meaning
There is no beginning.
what they're really meaning is the earliest that their self
Or
can
their
re-
science
remem-
can calculate.
they can remember, or that they are in a linear way trying to interpret what they saw as far as timeline goes.
Well, that's like, well, the Big Bang was 13.8 or 13 point something, I can't remember. I think it's 13.6 or 0.8 billion years ago by what we can see in the universe now. Is that when the Big Bang happened, or is that when God told Jesus to start creation, and Jesus says how, and God gave him the thing and gave him two things and said just smack them together and watch the fun.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's where we're going to organize this world this way. You're going to be the Christ for that world, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Alpha, here's Omega. That's not the beginning of existence or the beginning of the beginning. That is the beginning of this reality.
Yeah.
And if you, in that dream or viewpoint into other realities, were seeing that one of you sees what they perceive as the beginning of reality, beginning of time, what they're not getting is time, space, and gravity have always existed. God decided when to start it. And if you can become, because this is part of my belief by growing up in the church and being taught this, when you get to that point, you literally have the power. Reality doesn't start until you start it. You are one of an infinite amount of realities, existences, and you're the one starting it.
Yeah.
That'd be like me, if I got there before you, I would literally come grab you to show you what I've been talking about forever.
Yeah.
Like, I just want you to see, so that way you know what you have to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's where my brain instantly goes. I have to show you this because you need to know that I wasn't fucking ape shit nuts.
Yeah, in quite a few of those realities, me and Amber were still together.
Oh yeah, like I said, that's also part of me talking to you, because we've talked previously where I've told you about even if I would have went on my mission, you and her still would have gotten together. It has just been on a slightly different time.
Yeah, there was a couple different events that were utterly different.
Me going on my mission, which
that
means
was
I
one of
probably
them.
would have married somebody in the church, and a whole different dynamic because of the way I would have protected my sister differently and how everything would have fallen.
That was one of the realities that I saw.
Oh yeah. I've seen it. I've actually lived that whole
And I
lifetime.
was like, what the hell?
It is interesting when you can actually go to sleep and make your consciousness let go of your actual who you are, your intelligence, your reality, your what makes you.
Yeah.
Not this. That's attached to the soul.
Yep.
When you can go to look at what the different outcomes would have been if you would have done different things in your life, or if you wouldn't have made one specific decision that you know got you to where you are now,
Yep.
how that would have changed everything, and how it would have been good, bad, exactly the fucking same. But with me, the only difference would have been 3 kids, and my wife would love me without an inkling or bullshit anything.
Yeah, there was one universe I saw where she actually ended up really, really sick because of what happened with her and
Other
current
stuff.
stuff going on, and she refused to get better, and so she died like mom. Like she was
She
so
has that
she was so
mentality, yeah.
proud, like she was so doped up on her pride
I
and
fuck
so
you.
stubborn.
Or
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if I die, because screw it, I've already been a worthless piece of shit. So
That
like,
version of me was trying to convince her to stop.
fight.
and to come back. And in that reality, I had to reface my mom's death through her again. That was one of the parts that I said.
That'd have been a couple years back.
That was when I told you I said I saw some weird shit.
In that reality, that happened a year and a half to 2 years backwards. You wouldn't have Luciana.
Yeah. That Luciana was not in that reality.
Well, no, as soon as you said it, I know exactly which reality you're talking about.
Because then, like, later on, it was weird because it was like, that was happening, and I was watching it happen. And then, like, not too long after that, Luciana suddenly popped up into existence. But she had died. You had to go through a whole other phase of your life. And other stuff was happening at that point. And it was just a whole other timeline. And I'm like going, why the fuck am I seeing all this shit? Like, where is it coming from? And then I started seeing other shit.
It's the Lucy I'm always talking about every time and all time, and I always will. Until everybody believes me or shoots me or throws me in a fucking jail cell.
She got sick. She got really sick. Like, she already has the palsy, but she got really sick. Was stubborn as hell. You were trying to get her to do stuff and, come back.
CP. Oh, you're talking about my wife?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yours.
No. And then...
Oh, no, I know which one you're talking about, too. Yeah, okay.
And it was... And, like, she passed away.
I was thinking of two different realities which are similar.
But before she did, Sheree left. And Sheree left her. And left her for dead.
Yeah.
And then, like, basically...
And I was the only one there.
And told you to screw off. And so you stayed by her bedside till her dying moments. And it was so tragic. Like, I was like going, why am I even, like, everything else is kind of zipped by me. Why is this thing lingered? And then, it suddenly was in another reality.
Okay,
and then I went back
I know
to that
which
reality.
one you're talking about.
I was starting to kind of keep track of some of the realities.
You were able to see the differences and be able to keep track where you are on the map of existence.
Yeah, until it started speeding up again. And then going back, and then bouncing back and forth, but going back to those realities, it was like a replay sometimes.
Yeah, because you're trying to get more information, and it won't let you, so you have to literally let go or fuck them.
Because it was on like shuffle autopilot for part of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was like going.
You weren't fully capable of your powers and energy yet, so you weren't able to. Alright, go check on the little one real quick.
Yeah,
and then we'll finish, because it doesn't sound like your wife got up. Or maybe she is. Just double check either way.
Yep, I'm going.
This is older brother shit. Well, we got 7 more? Okay, there we go. I have, well, after this one, no, I have 8 more because I just played 10. We'll go back into that conversation in a couple minutes. Hey, look, it finally works. Yeah, that was me, stupid. Hang on one sec, guys. I'll find y'all a soundbite to listen to.
It was for, and she said tape, and I said, what kind of tape goes in a radio? And she said, a tape with music. And I said, okay. And she said it was called a cassette tape, and I know I said that, I think probably after the person who mentioned it.
Cassette tapes? You're so close right now. How old am I? I feel so old right now. I thought we also knew what cassette tapes were. The thing is, right, we are getting old enough to where now all the things that we had growing up, the new generation are rediscovering. and I don't know how to feel about it. Fun fact, cassette tapes have increased in sales by 45% this year because they're rediscovering them. I never forgot about them. I spent 25 minutes explaining to a worker at McDonald's how we used to have landline phones come here, and his response was, "Oh, so you must have been born in the 1900s. I literally canceled my order. I had no appetite."
Let's be sure so.
I like Jordan the Stallion 8 because it's funny how our kids, well, my kids, well, most people who's between the ages of, well, 30 and 50, or 30 and 40, are now discovering or rediscovering the stuff I grew up with. Like VCR, cassette tapes for music, some CDs. Some people don't remember what the hell that is either. Oh, what's the one? Well, you have the old flip phone, the landline phone, like he talked about, but what was it? The record player. A lot of people are just now also learning or seeing or figuring out what a record player was. When I was a kid, I had a mini record player to play records for read-along stories, like if I had a Teddy Ruxpin, but we didn't have a Teddy Ruxpin. Or I think I did, but I remember that the cassette player played the, like Teddy Ruxpin stories, but it didn't have a bear there reading it to me.
I woke her up to
Handle the child so we could finish.
yeah, because I was holding Lucy on, like Lucy was all like, and so I had to grab her and stuff, and then held her a little bit, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? Hey," and she's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Wake up!" Lucy was screaming. And she's like, "Oh," like, "Yeah, we heard over the podcast. We're almost done, but figured wake you up."
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next soundbite. We can discuss the other reality thing.
Yeah, we'll discuss that more next week.
Well, no.
No?
Me and you personally will discuss that.
Yeah.
We can discuss it on the podcast this week too. That's fine. While working out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the gym and-
we're gonna have the. Your brain's gonna.
Advice that will
explode.
change your perspective after hearing it. You might want to save this video so you can always come back later. 1. Learn to calm your own storm instead of venting to other people. It seems therapeutic to let it all out, but all you're doing is reinforcing your negative thoughts. Also, you can't expect your partner, your family, or a friend to always be in a headspace to receive your negative energy. It's no one's job but yours to pull yourself out of your negative thoughts. Journaling, meditation, exercise. There are many other ways to release negativity.
Exercise.
2. You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. 3. Don't kill people with kindness because not everyone deserves your kindness. Kill people with silence because not everyone deserves your attention. 4. It is okay to be lost. It means that you've never been this version of yourself before. You must get lost to become found. Drop a 100 if you watched this.
Yep.
I think that kind of also delves into what you were saying about the different realities. It's you are never 100% because you never at the end of your story.
Right.
You're not at the end of the story till you're dead, and even then, that's only the end of your
Current
physical existence,
Yeah.
your mortal form.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned,
Mm-hmm.
it's 1/1,000,000th of 1% of your true existence if existence is forever.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because it's like that exact thing he's talking about, negative emotions and venting and things like that, is I was coached into believing throughout my life that venting was fine and all these other things were fine, until I started running into Roblox and started like realizing after I vented that it didn't make me feel any better, or that it wasn't changing much, and it just kept repeating myself.
When did you
after a
hit
certain
that
time.
reality?
And I was thinking about that because there's a certain someone
Yes.
that
Oh no, that's
that
the
exact
first
video.
person that popped into my head when I saw that video. I'm like, yeah, well, as soon as they hear that, they're gonna get all, well, and it's
yeah, huffy
that's
and
the
puffy
fucking
and
point,
defensive.
jackass.
Yep.
You're not supposed to go there. Are
Yeah.
you paying attention, asshole?
Right, exactly. and it's the lesson that, honestly, I think that my extended family has always, in fact, my dad even, because my dad was utterly fucking surprised yesterday when I talked to him about my current identity shift, and he was just all like, and at first he was like kind of hesitant about it, but then he's like, after he started hearing me talk more and more, and I asserted to him like really definitively, I was like, this shift, I know everyone's gonna blame you, and I know everyone's gonna bring up this and that, and they're gonna speculate, they're gonna assume and presume and make up stories, and I'm like, but until you confirm it with the person, aka me, in question, you will never actually know the truth. You'll just assume you know the truth. You have to know, deep down inside, on a visceral, personal level, this is about me and my identity. It is not.
And who I
you.
am.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with you and your bullshit.
Yes, it has nothing to do with you and your own journey of healing and identity. And
Fuck
like,
yeah.
and he was like, I noticed that he brightened up after that. Like his attitude.
Because you
shifted.
literally told him, no matter what anybody tells you, it's not your fault. This is what I did because this is what I need to do for me.
Yeah.
And he literally got the smack of reality of, fuck, my kids are so adult that no matter what I say and or do, or what anybody else says and or do, they've come to the point where it's like, I don't give a fuck what they say. You can tell them to fuck off. Because I'm doing this for me, and then eat shit and die.
Well, I think also what really struck him.
Well,
too,
maybe not die for you, but
well,
that's
like,
where I go.
what I think was interesting too is that I think he's starting to realize that because of the fact of how much we have had to go through growing up as kids, then teenagers and young adults and adults,
With all the lunacy
is
of
that
him
we-
and other idiots.
is that even though like he likes to blame himself for shit, and even though like people like to talk shit, because whether we like it or not, people just love talking shit. Like they're addicted to it. And
Really? Me?
and like so when I say that, what I'm meaning is like my extended family, like my relatives.
I
They
know,
love-
I just forgot
Yeah.
to make a joke real quick.
yeah, they love to talk smack, and they love to assume that they know everything, and then
Never assume you know anything.
and then once you get to that point, you start losing your wisdom. You start losing the difference between your assumptions and reality. And
Oh, fuck yeah.
and like what's even more interesting is I think he was starting to realize that despite all of our flaws, despite all the things we deal with as people, we are probably becoming the most well-adjusted people of the family.
Well, you'll also have, well, I can't say all of you. I can say most of you
Yeah.
have good influences, or, and I know it's from you talking to your siblings, and also from stuff I've said to them too. It's the realization that no matter what anybody does, I have to pick my own journey. So screw them, their prejudice or their bullshit. This is for me because it's my fucking life.
Yeah. Exactly. I even said that to
I
him on
think
the
I've
phone.
pushed that out to you and Nico
Oh, yeah, no, you've
and
heavily
Andrew
pushed it.
excessively. Well, if you don't like what they do, tell them to go fuck off.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
It done.
is-
Story ended.
That's the thing is it's like, for instance, Holly, he doesn't like you very much. There are certain other people that don't like you very much, and I'm just
And
like,
I laugh at them.
and I sit there and I hear that from them, and I go, okay, I don't see that's a problem. And then like, and then they like kind of get all defensive and shit and dramatic, and they're just
Because
all
you
like,
don't back them.
yeah, and they're just all like, but wait, I don't like some of the stuff he said. I'm like, you don't have to. You don't have to like any of the shit he says. He's not his existence is not predicated on your approval. And then they were just all like, and they were just all like going, got all defensive and shit. And
Yes.
and then I pointed out to him, like, you realize that every time you say that you like something I said, or you like moves that I'm making, it is partially influenced by the person you said you didn't like. And you're telling me that you love this move, or love that move, or love this thing, or love that
Love
thing.
this ideal, yeah.
Or this idea, or whatever. Some of it, or the exact idea, in a way, was influenced or put forth first by Karnage, and you are like, I don't like Karnage. Well, whether you like it or not, some of my self-improvement has been inspired by Karnage. So,
I mean,
So
it
that
fits
one.
my name.
yeah.
Carnage. I hate you. But look at all the pretty colors.
It's even funnier when my Aunt Tammy's just all passive-aggressive and shit about some things, because she'll be like, well, he seems like your biggest fan, and I'm like, he's a bro, but he's trying to help me in his own way. Does that mean you're not my biggest fan? Is that the undertone here? That you're not a fan? Because I'm totally getting passive-aggressive energy from you, too. Like, what the fuck? Because of all the stuff you've been teaching me, and because of some of the shit I've learned along the way,
And observe.
and observed, and with the third eye opening, I'm just like going, I don't
What the
think
fuck,
people fucking realize that I'm seeing right through their bullshit. Like, I used to be easily influenced, or used to be easily, someone would pull the wool over my eyes, or someone would like, use my...
This never happened.
Yeah,
Smoke
don't be-
bomb.
yeah.
Like Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Dopey optimism to try and blind me, and think that, oh, he's just going to go out of his way to please me because he's still got that bad habit. And they're and like one of them, who I'm talking about,
Yep.
will literally say, no, I think you're reading too much into it. It's exactly as it sounds. And it's like, no, it's not. The fuck it is. Like, you are full of passive aggression and pettiness, and you like
You
to...
need to be aware of who you are, asshole. Quit bitching at me about who I am. I have nothing to do with your view on reality or who you really are. You need to come to grips with who you are at all times, not who I am.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
Yeah, we've discussed that excessively.
Yeah, and that guy, like, it's interesting because, like, he will say, oh, I'm all about this or all about that, but then turn around and say something as if it's the rule of law. And it's like, no, it's your rule of law of what you think things should be. It is not a universal rule of law for everybody around you. You don't get to dictate everybody's lives for them just because you're mad at what happened with your past.
And you're not my guy to go fuck yourself.
Right, exactly. Like, bro, like, what the fuck?
The only thing I have to say about that is, you're not my god, I'm my god. Go play with your universe, leave mine alone.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, you've seen me do that to people who are like, well, I don't like Ariel. Well, I don't care if you like my Ariel. I'm the god of my universe.
yeah.
And they get pissed about that.
I want to be clear, I respect all of everybody that knows me in real life, and if you feel like I'm talking about you, maybe you should examine yourself. Like, do some self-examination to figure out what to grow from.
Anybody in your life thinks we're talking about them and doesn't know for a fact that's who we're actually talking about, you need to get in touch with one or both of us, or you specifically, and find out yes, no, or shut the fuck up, I'm not even talking about you.
Yeah, or look in the mirror and figure out what's going on with you. Figure out how you should grow, because that's what I did. I did that a lot, especially over the last 3 years.
Well, I don't know if I've pushed it on you, but that's one of my biggest things. You always have to move to the next step. If you never move anywhere, you'll always be stuck in the same fucking pile of shit, and that's no fun. And even though that's where everybody gets comfortable, that's not where you should be.
Yeah.
Trying to flex for the camera.
I'm like doing straightening it out and everything, and like doing this thing with my shoulders, and I'm like, holy crap, I cover half the camera.
Well, that's like, you always used to see me in the videos and you talked to me about it once. It's like flat chest.
Yep.
But I mean, that also brings up my shoulders. It's like chest, shoulders. Oh.
Yep. Flex.
Alright, next
Flex.
soundbite.
Women love idealistically and men love realistically. And the problem is that we love a woman way more than a woman loves us. So when we separate, we're in way more pain
That's why tomfoolery does everything for her. The woman loves him like her father. But in our nature, we are meant to lose a parent, but we're not meant or built to lose a child. And a man loses a child when him and his woman separates. And it's way more heartbreaking. In love, I do.
Fuck.
Does that not go in deep, especially about some stuff we've talked about, where it's been like, oh yeah, no, you're like my lunatic brother who, oh yeah, that's dad.
Yeah. that speaks to so many different things too.
It's so many different truths.
And people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I just figured that deep throw where your brain went, oh fuck, that's right.
Yeah. No, I was literally replaying conversations in my head at that moment and replaying some lines in my head, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, I thought it was an interesting one that you would get and go, that's so fucking right.
Yeah, exactly.
Our biotech efforts that I've been a part of try to grow new heart, grow new brain, regenerate nerves. Not ready for prime time yet, but it turns out that foods can coax these stem cells out of our bone marrow so we regenerate faster.
Which foods?
Dark chocolate.
You're speaking my language now.
And cacao has been shown to actually double the number of stem cells flowing in your bloodstream just by having 2 cups of hot chocolate made with 80% high flavanol chocolate.
Come on.
Yeah, it's been done in people 60-year-olds with heart disease.
So wait, what happens when you drink or you eat this dark chocolate?
Okay, yeah, the polyphenols in this dark chocolates, these natural chemicals found in cacao, actually trigger a reaction in your body so that they call out the stem cells. So it is literally like bees flying out of a hive. It can double the number of stem cells, and what's the practical impact?
It's
All
kind
got out
of
of that was cows and chocolate or somehow intertwined.
cacao. 80% dark chocolate. Either turn it into a liquid and drink it, make your own hot chocolate, or eat it. What it does is it doubles the it makes your body double as many stem cells as it has active on a regular basis. So which means your body recovers,
Yeah.
builds muscle, bone, and anything that's basically deteriorating back easier.
Yeah.
It's basically what it means is eat 80% dark chocolate, cacao,
Yeah.
so that way your body naturally regenerates itself, so you have a longer life and a more healthy / fulfilled life. Because usually it's, I've also heard one that says 70%, but it's like 70 to 80% cacao.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate will literally, it's the one thing that can keep you healthy. Because cacao is literally better coffee.
Yeah.
Making, like, if you brewed cacao beans, like people brew coffee beans, either pre-ground up or not, you can pick either way, it's your choice of poison.
Yeah.
But if you grind up cacao beans after they've been dried, not roasted, in my opinion, but if you roast them, or even if you don't, it tastes just like coffee. And it has more caffeine and is actually better for your physical health.
Yeah.
Why would I want to drink fucking coffee when I can drink cacao? And I've actually looked up on Amazon, I can buy ground or pre-ground dried cacao beans to grind myself and basically make cacao coffee.
Interesting. Nice.
Oh yeah, no, this is one of my little stitches. Dark chocolate. I will avoid milk chocolate as much as I can, but if I can get dark chocolate, motherfucker, it's over. I love that shit.
Blacks around the world outraged over a minority winning Miss Zimbabwe. All those gorgeous black women examine this stone Unfazed Alabasters is what was chosen as Miss Zimbabwe Universe 2023. That says a lot about how colonized many minds are over there. Miss Zimbabwe is ugly. I never called anyone ugly. A white woman being considered an African beauty queen will never get my kudos, ever. She literally is African. She was born in Zimbabwe. So of course she could be considered as an African beauty queen. This is one against me. A white woman can be Miss Zimbabwe in the real world, but a black girl playing a fictional mermaid character was a bridge too far for some. Difference here is Ariel's actually a white mermaid who has red hair. It was canonically incorrect to change their skin tone, especially just for social justice points. Brooke Jackson is actually African. He's more African than all of us African Americans in America. Another comment, she had the audacity to say she's purebred Zimbabwean. I have no words. Yeah, I do. With the whole F. It was literally born in Zimbabwe. Crazy thing is literally black Americans that are mad about this. Zimbabweans couldn't care less. Also, she's a minority, so she should be happy about this.
She's a white African. Shut the fuck up! I just thought that was a funny ha-ha.
Oh, that was.
That they blew the white chick from the country getting the beauty queen thing because she's a white girl. You know there are white people in Africa, right, motherfucker?
Right.
There's as many white, black, and no offense, what look like Native American or Asian, that tan freaking skin in all of Africa. It's not all black people. Have you seen anybody or any of those specials where they talk to the people in Egypt? They look like Native Americans with as tan as they are.
Yeah.
Are we fucking serious? The only people who've gone from going tan to white is, no offense, the Jews.
Yeah.
They got lighter. Instead of staying tan because they lived like, what was it, 2 or 3 generations from when Joseph brought his family to Egypt to when Moses was born.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 generations. I think maybe more than that. I might have the numbers wrong, but correct me in the comments, assholes. But you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, you're so racist. You're against white people being born in Africa. You just showed your true colors.
Yeah.
Say I told you so about all of my wild conspiracy theories, but I told you so. The FDA is meeting this week to talk about the future possibilities of implementing artificial wombs for human gestation. In other words, not growing a baby in the womb of a woman, but growing a baby in a pod, in a sac, in a laboratory. Of course, for fact checkers, they'll tell you right now that these artificial wombs are not meant to replace an actual human womb of a pregnant person. Rather, it's supposed to be implemented to help infants who are born extremely prematurely continue to grow and develop in utero or in artificial womb. Granted, they've said that about a lot of things, that it had an intended use that it's no longer used for. So it begins. Is no one questioning why we are so intent on erasing moms and replacing motherhood with birthing personhood? Is no one frustrated that we are talking about growing babies in pod facilities in Europe so that we can alter their genetics easier, which is eugenics, by the way, or that we don't even need women's eggs to create babies because a biotech startup company in San Francisco will just grow the eggs from stem cells, or maybe that we don't even need any human involvement in creating human-like creatures anyway, because we can just do the whole thing from stem cells. Our culture is erasing women before our very eyes, and we are standing back applauding it as progress. I hate to...
The only thing I have to say to her saying that, does that not just prove the point that you hear all these crazy people like, oh, I don't know, Just Pearly Things and a few of the other, usually men, but not always men,
Yeah.
saying that, well, men don't need women. That literally just proves men think so logically we can scientifically figure out how to make a fake fucking goddamn womb, bust a nut, and then just combine. But what she was also saying, which y'all didn't see but it was on the script on my screen, is they're literally using the stem cells also to literally create sperm.
Wow.
So you take your own stem cells and you can literally clone yourself from yourself, so it's a more pure version of
I was gonna
yourself.
say, I was gonna be like, my grand clone army.
Yeah, but see, in our lunacy, we don't have to go to a planet on the edge of existence.
As if my point wasn't already further home.
but it's the thing that we, unlike the Star Wars universe, don't have to go to another planet. We figured out how to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Which, think about it this way. What if, like we've talked about, people who like read books and write movies are just looking into another reality?
Yeah.
Like we've discussed that, how you sometimes, because we discussed it when you were in the apartment, how you heard your characters talking to you about, well, I wouldn't do that, I'd do it this way.
Yeah, it'd be like little weird conversations with myself.
Yeah. What you thought was with yourself. What if Star Wars is him tapping into a universe where we did this, started growing our own humans. Another race comes and steals the technology, and that's why we're 1,000,000 miles from planet of origin, because there's no planet of origin in the Star Wars universe for humanoids.
Yeah, that's true.
Humans, Homo sapiens.
Yeah, humans are just sort of there.
Yeah, we're just there.
Like people,
One of the mythos is one of the aliens came to a planet far off in the uncharted zone, which is supposed to be Earth, stole a whole bunch of them and brought them back to that universe as slaves.
Yeah.
Until they revolted once they got... Well, they revolted after another race from another planet said you shouldn't have slaves, that's improper and blah blah. You know, the always famous war against slaves.
Yeah.
Even though, no offense, we have more slaves now than we did when actually slavery was dominant.
Yeah, it's called corporate
in America.
slavery.
No, well, not just that. There are actually countries now that are, some in the Union, but countries in this planet still have slaves.
And yes.
White, black, and every shade of brown. Well,
yes.
technically I'm not white, I'm light brown. But yes.
Corporate slaves and that general concept does not specify what race you are or your nationality. You can be white, black, brown.
That's the funny part.
Whatever ethnicity and still be
no matter what
part
color
of that.
you are, your race at some point in the past has been either the slave or the slave owner. There's as many black, Native American, Asians, and every other breed and creed who have owned slaves or been slaves. And no offense to 90% of the African Americans, they're like, we need reparations. Reparations for what? Because actually, y'all have so interbreded, there is not an ounce of actual lineage going back to any slaves for like 80+ percentage of darker skinned people in this country.
Yeah.
That's the hilarity of that one. And like I showed on a sound freaking, I think it was 4 podcasts ago, because we had to skip one because you had that concert.
Yeah.
It was that there were more black men in the Confederacy Army who were free than there were free slaves in the North. And a lot of the guys who freed their slaves were also black.
Yeah.
You remember that soundbite? That's why it's like, yeah, no, see, when the whole slave thing, sure, it so happens all over the world. Sex slaves, slaves in general. Oh wait, that's a butler. He's your slave. You just pay him. Guess what? A lot of the people who owned slaves in the Confederacy and in the South paid their fucking slaves.
Yeah.
Next soundbite.
Parents, they didn't consult their feelings when their children needed them. They just loved their children. And when the kids woke up in the middle of the night and they were sick, The parents didn't say, well, do I really feel like getting out of bed and taking care of you? They just did it. They chose the actions of love regardless of how they felt. They didn't wait for their feelings to be there. They just loved. Again, when husbands and wives were loving each other, they were waiting for their feelings to be there. Or when the feelings weren't there, they were very, very bothered by this. But what if in those marriages, they treated each other in some ways with the way they treated their children, to say, I'm not going to wait for the feelings to be here. I'm just going to love.
Well, yes, I mean, actions are the predicate for love. We're in a society where that's entirely backwards. You're supposed to feel the feelings and then you do the thing. But it's actually the reverse. It doesn't matter whether you're feeling the thing at the time, you do the thing, and out of that thing, love grows. Parents.
That was just a nice soundbite I wanted to freaking throw out there just because it literally proves the point.
Yeah.
It proves its own point. I don't have to say anything else.
Yep.
Do you have anything to say?
The only thing I would have to say is that I can attest to what he's talking about with your sister. The fact that I'm more of a man of action than I am of words lately. And I'll show her that I love her. I show her that I care about her. I show her through touch.
Yeah,
or
but you also don't need
actions.
to have the feelings, I love you, so I'm going to be extra romantic today. No, I will always love you. Here, just love.
Yep, that's
I
correct.
don't feel like loving you because you're an asshole. You should still love me.
Yeah, no, the love never stops.
Yeah.
Not
And,
conditional.
and it's also, I think it goes into a lot of the stuff you hear a lot of people say, well, she wasn't happy. But that's not his fault.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's unconditional love. Like,
And the only person who gets unconditional love are women and children.
yeah, usually.
That's the big bitch I've been hearing the most. The first one to say it was, what's the fucking short black comic who's done movies with The Rock?
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that him. Sorry, brain
like,
fart.
That him.
That dude.
Yep.
Alright, next soundbite.
Commissioners, today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in York County. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once put new commissioners. Today, I'd like
I actually have an answer to the whole vacuum of space thing.
Yeah.
Because no offense, he's a fucking idiot. Because technically, for the International Space Station to be rotating the Earth, it means it's constantly falling, which means it's not in the vacuum of space. It's in the slight, thin wire of between gravity and the vacuum of space. That's why you can see air move, which means he's completely full of shit on that. Now the other stuff, like people popping in and out, that could be a technical issue. That stuff I have no talk about. The talk about air, yeah, because there's still air because it's coming off of Earth into space, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basic science I learned in fucking like 5th grade.
Yeah.
About how our satellites rotate around the Earth. Are we fucking stupid, or is everybody just trying to bring up a new, see, it proves flat Earth? That sort of stupidity.
Yeah.
Fuck! How stupid is everybody, or is everybody fucking gullible? I mean, plus the way the girl was reacting was just, I gotta talk shit on these dumbasses. Because one, she's young. She's like in her mid to late teens, latest early 20s, with as young as she looks.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the, oh, you fucking dumbass.
Yep.
Was the first thought in my mind, because I watched it, I sent it to myself, and then I watched it again to process and figure out exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
To make sure I understood him right, because after I listened to it, I'm like, I think I know what he's saying. I think that'll be fun for the podcast. And then I realized, oh wait, he's just a big fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, did you learn that crap at school?
I did.
Because it's on the edge. It's not outside of our atmosphere, because it's on the edge of our atmosphere. That's why it can fall in a circle and be in orbit.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how not only asteroids, but also because the debris that's hanging around outside our planet is remainders.
Oh, we're just so lucky it
Yeah.
hasn't.
Yeah,
90% of it hasn't fallen and destroyed 90% of the Earth.
yeah, because like Lede, JB, showed me a couple images like a year or two ago, and it was
Oh, the giant clusterfuck that's
yeah,
right
and he found a radar image of the planet, and found like, and the radar image showed like debris, asteroids, leftover bullshit that was rotating around the planet. And our planet. So
I
the
saw
really clean image of the Earth in a lot of movies and TV shows.
No, that's complete bullshit.
That is completely fabricated and special
Oh, yeah.
effects because our Earth is surrounded by bullshit.
On that note, something funny I saw, it wasn't short, I didn't save it for the podcast, so I'm like, okay, this is just funny for me,
Yeah.
is if we don't send it out into space or do anything with it, eventually, in the next 20 to 50 years, basically me nearing my 100 years, I said I'll wait to die till. The funny part about that is, we are literally going to look like one of the planets with rings around it because of all of the debris we put in our own fucking atmosphere.
We already have that, yeah.
We're not quite to the rings yet,
Very close.
but we're getting. What I saw said in the next like 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
we will literally look like Saturn or whatever
Yeah,
the other one is.
because enough debris and enough rock and enough.
And we're the dumbasses that threw it out there. It didn't naturally happen.
Yeah, and some of it was man-made. Like some of it was rocks and stuff that got thrown into the atmosphere ourselves. Some of it is asteroids and shit that either flew past the Earth and some of it got stuck. And
Because of the satellites
yeah.
and stuff and it hit it. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and-
I've heard
and
lots of stories about that
there's
shit.
quite a few rock and debris that are completely Martian that are from other planets
Oh yeah.
that have hit near our planet.
Alright, well we got 2 more sounds and I think your baby's like pissed.
Yeah, I
But
think she is.
Then we'll go from
Okay, so
there.
today I got pulled into a check-in meeting with my administrator
She's a
at
teacher.
school, and she had this lovely list of concerns that she wanted to bring to my attention. But my favorite amongst them is we've noticed an intentional attempt at teaching your students about their legal and constitutional rights. That's the concern. They're concerned.
The
Why
fuck?
are you concerned? Why is that a concern? Why is
That
that a concern?
should be a
Why is
requirement.
that a concern? Why is that concern?
My big what the fuck assholes? Oh no, that was the last one.
That was
Nice.
a serious actual fuck moment is what that was.
Oh, that was more than that. Do you know why?
Because they're trying to strip away our rights.
No, not even that. That comes from the reddest state in the fucking union. Texas.
The fuck?
Right? If that doesn't prove that school's just propaganda.
That right there is a lack of integrity.
That proves that even in the most conservative place in the United States, or one of the most conservative places in the United States, who also says you're allowed to carry a gun because you're a fucking American, why the
Yeah.
fuck are all these people crying? If you had a gun, maybe you wouldn't have got shot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a little rough around the edges because they're Texas.
Mhm.
But the thing is, the most conservative red state, one of their school districts has rules, or the administrator has rules that you're not supposed to teach kids their constitutional right, which is part of learning about America. So you want us to be dumber than the people that we make take the test to become a citizen of the United States. God damn, ain't that fucking horrible?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way the system works. That's like seeing all these videos about cops being assholes just because I'm walking around and I got a camera.
Right.
Sort of stuff. And it's like, are we all apeshit nuts, or are there just too many stupid cops who don't actually pay attention to the first thing they make you do is, I pledge to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah.
Have you read the motherfucker? Do you know all the amendments? Do you know what it actually says? Or do you not remember because you got taught that in elementary school? I'm sorry, that should be something you should go over every year in any history or social studies class from first grade until you graduate high school. And they should even go through it every once in a while just for you have to graduate college. I'm sorry. If you don't know all your rights, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, I refresh myself on it like often, and I also have a.
I looked up the local
Yeah.
laws because I mean, I've lived all over the U.S.
Mhm.
Virginia, Oklahoma, Ohio, here in Utah. I've lived everywhere. Oh, I like checking the rules, especially about weapons. It's a knife. It's not a weapon. It is a tool.
Yep.
Go fuck yourself. You cannot write me a ticket or say I am
Somehow
have a concealed weapon.
Yeah.
It's fucking right there. You can see it.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, right? But I mean, this is the shit that I hear from other people, and I'm like, I'm sorry, didn't the Constitution say I'm allowed to own a weapon? It did not say gun, technically. I mean, part of that says gun. Part of the amendment says gun, but it also says you're allowed to have a weapon on you to defend yourself.
yeah.
Technically, I can carry anything on me to defend me.
Yep.
Which means knife and or gun.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell me I'm not allowed to open carry or have a gun on me because of some stupid state law, you know what you are? You are no longer a state of the United States of America because that's part of our fucking rule book, motherfuckers.
Right.
And I've been seeing a lot of things talking about stupidity happening over that. Well, we're gonna make guns illegal. You know what country you're in, right? You know what the Constitution says. You know technically if you make that law, you quite literally will be thrown in jail as I think it was a mayor or... Yeah, I think it was a mayor of some town in... I don't even remember what state. That's how throwaway it was.
Yeah, no, I was reading about that a bit ago.
Yeah! It's happened within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, like I read about how that mayor made really dumb
Yeah,
commentary.
mayor. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was mayor or a little bit higher, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a mayor of a smaller town, and they were
I think
trying
it was
to.
in Florida or something.
Yeah, I think it was in Florida.
It was just the stupidity. You can't do that. That's against the Constitution of the country you live in. You want to do that? Move somewhere else, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody get her the fuck out of office. Who's the asshole who almost won against her? Put that motherfucker in office. That's the first thought that goes through my head.
Yeah.
Clearly, this idiot isn't doing a good job. Can we put in the other fucker that was on the ballot? There wasn't anybody. Can I have the damn job? I know what the Constitution is. I'm not a dumbass.
Right.
Just the stupidity alone of that. The fuck?
Yeah.
When the hell did the United States be the communist states? Because with as much shit as I've seen in the last
5-10 years.
I'll say 5 years. Because it's gone extremely fast and extremely up in the last 5 years alone.
Yeah.
We're no longer the United States. We are the fuck you, it's my state, kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck what your rules or your constitution says. Excuse me?
Right.
Then get the fuck out of my country, bitch.
Yeah.
You don't like the rules, you don't like what we do, leave. North, south, or get on a boat and here's hoping you find somewhere friendly.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. Then shut the fuck up and live in the rule book. Oh wait, no, that's right. We have to kick everybody else who doesn't want to live in the rule book. Okay, then the government needs to figure out a way to take away those people's power, or you are now the leader.
Yeah.
Or you are vetoed from all the power you were ever given. Go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, in the country I was raised and taught I lived in was the United States of America. I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I say to whoever the fuck I want to say. Whether you like it or not, whether you're pissed or not, has nothing to do with it. We can discuss it, or we can throw punches, or we can both pull out guns and shoot each other because we live in a country where you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But if I shoot you and kill you, guess what? I'm going to jail and I'll probably die too. Equal exchange. I said something pissed you off, you pulled out a gun, I shot you first. Self-defense, but you killed somebody, manslaughter. You at least get 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, now you get, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but for those people who were falsely accused and go to jail, like somebody I know, we've discussed it, got more time than he would have got if he'd have just killed the little fucking cunt.
Which is really.
Okay, that was an end that we weren't expecting. I was gonna say something about ending it, but okay. I guess that's where it'll end. Unless it's still streaming, then bye. If you can hear us. This has been Crazy Peas. I'm Karnage6778.
And I'm TPAW.
We will see y'all next week. That was fucking weird. Don't die, don't kill yourselves.
Yep. And, have a week.